Hello all, once again to Bloodpunk. This is episode 8. Who would have thought it? 8 times a running.
8 times a running!
How are we all doing at the table? Hey, how are we all doing? Yeah?
Tight.
Everyone's in frame? Yeah.
I'm tired, Jack.
Yeah, I'm a bit tired as well.
Sleepy and EP.
I feel like this winter's like gone on for ages.
Yeah.
We need the groundhogs out to, tell us there's no more winter left. But it does feel like it's getting a little warmer. It does feel like...
It's definitely getting warmer. It's just wet and grey.
It's more gay.
Yeah.
It's more gay.
Yeah.
It's more gay then.
It's more gay.
So we have a bit of a sponsor, as we always do, but they're called Warrior Prince 3D, and if anyone wants to talk about them, please do.
I think you should.
Because I should be banned.
No, please, it gives me life.
Siobhan, tell us about Warrior Prince 3D.
His name is Richard.
He owns a printer.
For all your 3D printing needs.
Essentially.
Yeah.
Cosplay items, miniatures,
Thank you.
terrain and more. And you can use our exclusive permanent code to the stars to get 10% off at www.warriorprince3d.etsy.com or head over to his Instagram at warriorprince3d, slide into his DMs and ask him for a commish, because he do that.
Spell it like that as well.
Commish.
However you wish that to be spelled.
I wish for a commish.
Yes. Do you feel in control?
So obviously, thank you once again, Warrior Prince 3D, for sponsoring the stream. We still need to get you a mini kitty. Don't
Get a
we?
cat.
Do you
I
have
have
what?
designed one
You have designed one?
on another website that I won't mention.
Yeah.
It's not sponsored. Hashtag.
We're not big enough to really care about
You
that.
never know.
Was it Hero Forge?
Yes.
Yeah, cool. I use them all the time. Like half of these guys Starfinder miniature Hero
Yeah.
Forge. But what's great about Hero Forge is that you can get the STL file and you can send it to somebody like Richard at Warrior Prince 3D.
Which
He
I
has
will
a
do.
printer.
Yeah.
With my
Send it to us and we'll we'll send it
Because
to
I have
Richard.
designed her. I forgot to
Yeah,
say.
I've been forgetting to
I've been
ask you,
busy.
to be honest.
It's alright.
So
I did it anyway.
we'll make sure we get that
It's
maybe
not a good
for
thing.
next session.
But in all fairness, if you get the STL file, which is $7.99 if you're in the UK or like $8 in the US, and they do sales where they're like half price, which is fantastic, you can use somebody like Richard who will then print them out, and they're usually for one single miniature, really quite cheap. And even then, Richard is really good at looking at your mini and going, look, I love it. It's really great. But I've also got this one, which is very similar from X, Y, and Z as well. And, he can find you things. If you necessarily can't find the thing that you like, or you're like, I've got the design here. Richard's got such a ton of stuff on his Etsy and on his, the amount of hard drives that man owns.
Oh my god, I messaged him recently asking for 2 very specific things. And he's like, it's this.
I was like, I have a problem with making decisions. Please. So check out Warrior Prince 3D.
Absolutely do. And obviously we have some show supporters. Battle Systems.
We do.
We have a bunch of their terrain, which I unfortunately don't think we'll be using this episode.
Ooh, that means we'll
But
come back.
at some point, I certainly will. And the likes of Roll and Play Press, who do some lovely little small books that.
That's not the word you use.
Lovely, wonderful little books that help your improvisation when you're doing D&D stuff. And if you can't really think of a name, you basically just open the book up somewhere and roll a dice, and that you have a name right there and then.
Yeah.
Tricky beat.
But that's what you get.
That's where you get things like that.
Hey, Tricky Pete! Hey! God, improv galore.
Oh my god! And the code for Roll and Play Press is
DRAGONBORN 10. If you use that affiliate code at checkout, you'll get 10% off your books, and it lets them know you've come from us, and that helps the channel grow to bring shows to you.
From us.
Indeed. And also, you can also support us if you have Amazon Prime. You can also have a Twitch Prime sub, which you can give to any channel you're liking for free. And if you're here watching now, please do it for us, because it will be absolutely lovely. It supports us and gives us a tiny little bit of money at the end of the month. Just a little way of just supporting us, and it does really help. So if you have it, please check. If you haven't used it yet, any of that kind of stuff. And I mean, I haven't got much else to say, to be honest. Has anyone else got anything else to say?
Jack and Ian are going to be at Happy Piranha next week, running the intro to D&D sessions.
Yes.
There are still places available if you want to book. And my Gals and Pals in March has one space left, but there are other dates in April and May. So we're going to be at Happy Prawn Intro doing various D&D bits. We're also going to be back for Lightwell Live on the first Friday of the month. You can catch up wherever you get your podcasts.
Indeed. We have a lot of D&D stuff coming up as well as the stuff that we already have going on. There's a lot of stuff in the works. That,
yeah, there really is. Which it's great. It's very daunting.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my god! But yeah, it's
so much of it.
It's crazy how the schedule is picking up, and I love it. It's so cool.
It's certainly taken over my life. I don't know. I mean, it's certainly taken over your life. That's for sure.
No. It literally in this room is my life.
D&D is me.
Yeah. Fuck it, I'm going Paizo. See you later. I literally have done that. I've abandoned ship. I as soon as the OGL happened, I was like, fuck it, Paizo. Like I was already doing it anyway, but Hasbro fucked us all. It's been over 2 minutes.
We can say whatever the fuck
literally
we
like
want.
need to go pick up the new Monster Manual tomorrow.
Let's get cracking. Let's just do it.
Let's just.
You know what? Just in a silly goofy mood, let's do it.
Let's make it bigger.
Go.
Go. Wouldn't that be lovely?
Oh, bloody mysterious.
If we have any audio issues, please do say in the chat. We'll try and sort it out. But everything should be good. We tried to make some improvements, and hopefully it's good. Anyway, so last time you all found yourselves within the confines of an abandoned warehouse, following a lead given to you by Celestina, a member, seemingly, of the Twisted Knife. This lead has led you into the hands of the Silver Cult. Combat ensued, and you managed to take down these cult members. One of them, however, managed to escape through your clutches through a back entrance that led elsewhere in Kanrath.
Alex isn't here, you can't laugh at that. I saw the look.
You did, however, manage to restrain one of them and capture them, trying to make communication with them, but discovering that they have their tongue cut out. But with the clever use of telepathy from Marionette, managed to find some sort of connection, and was able to speak to this cult member. You discover that this group of cultists seem to hail from the rival city of Cyherested, and that the most of the cultists here are merely pawns for the greater good.
The greater good.
Thank you. I was waiting for that. You soon discover that these cultists are in the middle of packaging and transporting goods, but not the kind of goods you would expect. Inside these crates were individual items that belonged to the founder himself. This
It's me.
led to a USB sound. This led to more questions than it answered. You suddenly feel like you've gone down the right path by finding these cultists that have been skulking around the city of Kanrath. Following the passage outside of the warehouse, you discovered it leads to a stable barn, a little ways away from where you entered the warehouse originally. Finding definitive tracks of a cart being pulled out of the stables, you would imagine where the last remaining, well, one of the last remaining cultists managed to escape from. You end up finding transportation for yourselves. Not long after the detective Ethan Ward manages to find you, he shortly out of breath, as he was trying to make his way here as quick as possible, upon finding his own investigations left at the same place as you. Yes, you enter the transportation, but the cult member that you captured and brought along with you had other ideas, giving Marionette a sort of a very reserved but sorrowful look. And the last words that Marionette heard were, "I'm sorry." And this person ran into oncoming traffic in the main thoroughfare, where these blood engines are just sort of roaming through, and swiftly run over and mangled, unfortunately. But you make your way to the royal castle once more. Again, greeted by Browick, the royal butler, who invites you inside and takes you directly to the Grand Advisor on the first floor this time, which is a floor you haven't been on yet. You are invited to sit in an ornate, dimly lit office where the Grand Advisor is musing through paperwork and such things. After a brief conversation, she asks you some questions about your investigation. And you show her the items that you found that were procured by the Silver Cult. She inspects these items and can swiftly confirm that these are the Founder's items. They are the real thing. And I believe you had his clothing, his sword, spellbook, and his ring. But upon discovering that these are the Founder's items, it brings its own bad news with it, as she tells you that these items were left with the Founder in his tomb at the time of his death. Accessing this room is impossible, with the exception of having the Founder's blood within your veins, which coincidentally is contained within each living child of the Founder. The Grand Advisor then speaks of the possibility of betrayal, but there is also a lot of work to do. It is at this moment that you all begin to experience dizziness.
Oh yeah.
Ian's just rediscovered what happened.
I may not listen back to this one.
You all experience dizziness, blurred vision, tightness around your chests.
Diabetes?
Yeah.
I think I tapped 200 diabetes.
This feeling lasts a few moments, but then it turns to agonizing, excruciating pain as you are racked with an immense headache, your limbs almost being pulled out to their sockets. Throughout all of this, you can see the rest of your party experiencing the exact same ordeal. Eventually, when the pain seems like it would take away your very soul, you are released from this pain. Collapsed to the ground, you either kneel, lie, or crouch on a surface very unfamiliar to you all. No longer the cold, unforgiving stubbornness of stone, but instead the pliable, slightly damp, and mixed texture of flesh. As you slowly come to your senses, you discover yourselves in a very tight corridor, 5 foot in width, but seemingly infinite in length. You cannot see the ends of this corridor. You cannot see the ceilings of this corridor. But you see the rest of your party around you. But it's also at this point that you discover something new. You start to look at your own hands. Something's not quite right. Siobhan, can you roll me a d4, please, first?
Ooh.
Actually, sorry. No, actually, yeah, carry on. Yeah. So
You sure?
yeah,
Roll
yeah.
the D4, Siobhan.
It's because it's like Alex is not here, but he is still technically here, so.
A 2.
Okay, cool.
They said you sound like an owl.
Ooh.
Steph, you can also roll me a d4.
I will. 1.
Roll one as well.
Marcus is dead, everybody.
Marcus, no!
He fell over and died of this bullet.
I tripped.
I fell.
Fell into the meat wall.
We are inside an anus.
Yeah.
Like, that's all I can picture is just...
When you said like pliable and slightly damp, I just kept thinking,
Ooh.
it's to be the tagline in my Tinder bio.
Pliable and slightly damp. Jesus.
Oh, that's worse than cup nugs.
You're welcome.
No, I don't know. I don't know. No.
So, okay, that's determined some things.
Good night, folks.
So, Kitty, you look down at your, as you sort of, maybe you're crouched down maybe on one knee, and you stand up, you're still a bit sort of blurry, kind of trying to just secure yourself and see, just watch your surroundings. And it is when you look at your hands, they're made of metal.
Ooh.
There are some like blood tubing going through. You can see some of it just kind of appearing in some of these gaps of metal. You can use you can move your hands like you would any normal person would. Marionette.
Okay.
You look down on your hands and they are slightly smaller than you remember them being.
The little, like, when some of these people doing things like...
Yeah, not quite that small.
People with like the doll's arms and they're like rolling and kneading things. They stroking their cats or like doing people's hair.
But you're no longer an automaton.
Oh.
Are we having a Freaky Friday like that?
Are we having a Freaky Friday?
Slightly pale blue skin.
Ooh.
And you're wearing quite an extravagant sort of outfit. It's very well fitted, and you kind of maybe sort of touch your face and stuff like that. You have hair. You are no longer made of metal. And you discover that you have a pair of glasses as well. Fear. You find yourself in a similar sort of body, maybe a little bit stockier. Your hands a little meatier, not quite as lithe as you're used to being. No longer wearing a hat. Your coffin missing. And you all look at each other, finding yourselves in different bodies.
Are we in each other's bodies?
Yes, you are.
I'm in Marcus's body.
You
Like he
look across-
instantly is just like, this is so cumbersome. Oh, but has he actually got Marcus's voice, or is it his own voice?
Each other.
You speak, but it's kind of this weird mix.
But this is so cumbersome.
Where like in your head you're hearing fear, but when you speak you're hearing Marcus come out. It's this weird mix that you can't quite level out.
Well, I do say it's not packing much. This is just unpleasant.
Flesh is bizarre, darling.
Enjoy that body while you can, my dear.
There are things and... Oh!
You learn to ignore them.
Lithe.
It's not in my body. Okay, I thought she was in my... Right.
It's rather nice up here, isn't it?
Everything's so small.
Marcus, you will look after that body.
Oh,
I
yes,
will try.
Marionette, you need to very much take care of my clothes, please. It's very
Marinette is like
expensive.
punching herself.
No!
This is very bizarre. Kitty, you're so weak.
This is why I kept asking to be carried. Now you understand.
Before we get too involved with what is going on here, let's not forget that, and he like runs Marcus's hands like into the pliable wall, and is like, that we are in some visage.
Visage.
Is this smelling?
It's horrendous.
I don't care for it at all.
It is quite useful, though, I will say.
Did you say you touched the wall?
Yes.
Cool. Can you make
You touched the book.
a sort of strength saving throw for me?
Do I get that with Marcus's being in his body?
I don't have
we
a
have to
character
swap
sheet.
character
I
sheets?
would say yes, but I understand that you were all using laptops and stuff, and some of that may be private. I
We
don't
can
know.
swap.
Just-
Don't worry, it's a 2 on the dice.
Okay.
No matter what it is, it's probably a fail.
A stat
It-
page.
So you sort of touch it, and yes, it is damp, and it is covered in blood. It's not like pooling on the ground, but it's clearly just covering the surface texture. And as you sort of like try and sort of stroke it almost, and then like
This is shit.
your hand
This
kind of
is
like
urine.
slips in between like two bits of like mounds of flesh.
Have I found a sphincter?
not quite a sphincter, no, but there's just kind of like this little divot, and you feel your hand has been drawn in, and you're like currently elbow deep in the wall, and you feel like something on the other side is pulling you.
Well, it appears we're going this way, my ladies.
Hold on, everyone.
Well, shame it's not my body. And Marcus's body goes through the wall. Does it feel like an inviting pull, or is it like somebody trying to like... I don't know if I can sense motive this or like insight check this.
Insight check the sphincter.
It is not an asshole, okay?
It's not nice, though.
I don't know, Jack. Kind of sounds like an asshole to me.
It doesn't feel like it's like yanking at you. It feels like just a slow, gentle pull.
And we can't see either end or up. It's from the
No,
description.
but like you can see in about sort of like 60 foot either way.
Okay.
And then like a bit of dim after that, but you can't see the ends of anything, and nothing is specifically lighting this area. It's just lit in some way.
Well, it appears that we are being drawn through the wall. Do I let it happen, or
Do we come with you?
or just pull me out if it gets painful.
He's about shoulder deep now.
Oh, I'll hold on to like Fear Marcus's hand, like with my tiny, tiny little baby hands, to try and just in case it starts getting weird.
Kitty dear,
you want to try and pull him back, or
let me go into the other shoulder so that my body is in there, and then I will 2 tugs and pull me back.
Okay.
I think I'll hold on to Marionette just as a security. I know how weak I am.
yeah.
Well, I'm now you, so I'm the weak one,
Well,
and
that's what
you're
I mean, yeah.
average.
Average is better than weak.
It's going to be confusing.
Right, Marcus is in my body racked with pain, and everybody like constant migraines, just constant migraines, and
I think he's probably like watching his own body get swallowed by the wall. And don't ruin my body. And he will.
you should have had more fun with it then before I took over.
He will attempt to pull you
Okay.
because he doesn't want his own body.
At least let me see, Marcus, what's on the other side.
That's a fucking low one.
-2 on the strength for fear.
Yeah,
So you did, yeah, that was very not very.
even still, that's
Into
a
the
shit one.
sphincter.
Maybe you're all sort of not covered in blood, but there's just bits of blood on you from where you may fall into the ground when you got into this place, and he just can't get a grip on you, and you were kind of swallowed into the wall, and it kind of like covers you.
Well, she's good to go.
It's very much like the
Slightly damp.
it's very much like the hedges in the Harry Potter maze. It's like bringing you in, and takes after a few seconds you think, is he fucking dead? But then he appears on the other corridor, like other side of the corridor.
Hello.
And he's appeared right before you again.
Interesting.
Well, good job we didn't panic.
Significantly bloodier this time. However.
Did you see anything in
No.
It was just
It was very dark.
there? Dark.
darkness.
I guess we pick a direction and we just head that way.
Yes,
I'm just Matt Berry now.
There's somebody at the sphincter.
There's somebody at the sphincter.
I suppose we could go onwards.
And which way do we go?
We're forwards or backwards?
Which way did
Well,
Sphere go?
maybe like the left wall is that where he got swallowed in, but came out the right side wall.
Like even distance. I say we flip a coin. We heads we go this way, tails we go that. Odds and evens left and right, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Odds, evens we're going right.
You mean forward or like?
There's
You
no
got
left
forward
or
and
right. It's forward and back.
I'm facing the wall, so now it's left or right.
Once again.
I think it would be back on ourselves would be
Yeah.
yeah.
Alright.
To which end? Well, if you don't mind, I guess with such a hulking figure, I guess I'm now first. Leading the charge, Marcus. Good for you.
If we must.
Very
Yeah.
disconcerting.
You head down this sort of corridor and you're going maybe 30 foot, 60 foot, 90 foot. Nothing's changing. You can, the walls, yes, they are made of flesh, but you can see there's like bone in there as well. It's very much just an amalgamation of bodily parts. Nothing changes as you move for another 300 foot. It just
Could we
going and going.
do a check to see if we know if this is like a part of a body or something? Like if we
yeah.
are like inside the
It's a
intestines.
medicine.
Yeah, I'll say medicine check.
Okay.
Say medicine.
Mentally, I guess I'm
Yeah.
using fears.
So wisdom, my medicine.
Oh, it's out the tray.
Proficient plus.
Ah.
So
is that plus?
you've got quite a good one with that one.
No. 3.
Natural 20 for whatever Kitty's got.
Okay.
Well, this is mental. So would this be
21.
her
Or
own?
would this be our own?
it is a difficult one. I'd say it would be your own because you're only in the physical bodies. You are still.
Well,
It's still your
Yeah, yeah.
consciousness.
Yeah. There we go.
It is, yeah.
So 25.
25. Okay. What did you get? Kitty, not kitty.
Wait 1 second.
Kitty, not kitty.
That would be a 16.
16,
for
cool.
me.
I think Fear, Marcus, you're not.
And Mitty.
A minute.
You're not really sure what this is. It's certainly not natural. I think maybe even for you two, you maybe inspect the walls and the floor a little bit more. If this was part of a body, you know, having bones being just kind of loose in these walls wouldn't make any sense on a skeletal form. Yeah, but it's not so much like you see actual body parts like fingers and such. It's more just like mounds of flesh, and like some of them have like just smooth skin over the edge of it. Some of it is scarred. And the way the corridor is, it's straight up, straight down, and straight across on the floor. Not very body-like, you know.
I guess it could be some sort of trickery.
Some sort of like catacomb of flesh.
Well, if there's nothing this way, then maybe we should turn back and head the other.
It seems logical.
Can I do a check just to see if it's like a psychological thing that's happening? Because obviously we kind of went a bit dizzy.
Illusion.
Illusion. My illusions, Dad.
Fuck off. Can't stop me with cheap sex potions.
You can maybe an Arcana check.
Let's have a look. That is a lovely 18.
18? Okay. You would imagine that to put all four of you in this state of hysteria would take something immensely powerful.
Say a doctor about that.
You're unfamiliar with the kinds of spells that could do so.
Right.
But you certainly feel like it is at least magical. Are you guys like sort of stood still at the minute trying to work things out, or are you still
going
just
back
moving?
on ourselves and heading back the other way?
I think Marcus will finger the wall and then be like,
"Oh yeah."
Do forgive me, Marcus, but I require my own taste. Put my tongue out.
You will regretfully just tongue out.
We'll just see if it triggers anything. I don't know. I more want him to do the check to see if it tastes like something natural. This is shit.
It tastes. Well, you're both vampires, so yeah, I think you would taste it and go, "It doesn't taste nice. Not like our normal blood."
It is an acquired
But
taste.
Then again, you are a vampire, just like me.
I'll taste it. I've never tasted before.
Would it work on?
I was about to say, would you like me to finger you?
Katie doesn't need to eat either. So.
Yeah, I mean, you can
But
still.
she can taste.
I think-
Marinette doesn't have a mouth.
Marinette's just like across the line. All of the canal. You know Rimmer in Red Dwarf when he like gets Lister's body and he just fucking gorges.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Breathing is very interesting. You really don't have to think about it, do you?
No.
It's very overrated though.
I don't know. It's quite exhilarating. I can breathe fast like this, or I can breathe slow. So, quite dizzy. I'm dizzy.
I think even
Marinette
as
is tripping balls.
an
Great
automaton,
time.
I think you can still taste. You know, you are
She
still
doesn't
a
have a
living
mouth.
being. You just don't need to eat.
Oh, no, I meant
as much.
Kitty's.
Yeah, Kitty.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
yeah.
Because
Yeah.
we've established
Yeah.
Marinette doesn't.
Yeah.
It explicitly says she does.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Yeah,
Fair.
Jack.
My God,
I've been
Jack,
corrected, and that's fine.
Actually,
Fuck me, right? I mean, no, that's cool.
Sue in the morning. So
yeah.
Mitty, as she's now being
Mitty?
known.
What are we?
Yeah.
Mitty and
Carrie-net.
Carrie-net.
Carrie-net, yeah.
Yeah.
Farkas.
That makes it a little easier to focus. And Mia.
And Mia.
What?
Marcus. I love it. I think I actually really like his names.
Yeah, I'll have a little lick at the wall.
Yeah, it's you're tasting it as Kitty.
If you could cry.
It tastes sweet. You taste the iron, but you like the taste. Maybe that's residual Kitty thoughts, or you're not really sure why you like it, but you do.
It's quite delicious. Sweet.
I'm very happy for you.
Suck it, bitch. Oh, I'm sassy now.
You did not need the body to be sassy. You were sassy before.
She doesn't know what to do with that. She's still just like trooping balls on.
Should we turn back and head the other way then?
I would imagine you're probably walking the other way at this point anyway.
Yeah.
But
God damn, Marcus, your body is slow.
you just don't know how to use it. So you approximated that when you originally went in that first direction, you went 400 foot, 500 foot. So you go back on yourselves about maybe 120 foot, and this time you come to a spiral staircase that goes up. You haven't turned any corners.
Well, it appears the only way is up.
Baby.
Off we go then.
As soon as you
Up!
you put your feet on the first steps of the spiral staircase, and there's no like banister or anything. It's just open to this cylindrical space. You experience the gravity change, and even though you're walking up on these steps, your feet are planted on these steps, and you don't find any difficulty in doing so. But any loose equipment, any hair, just shoots up. And you have control of your body. It's not difficult to move, but it's a very strange sensation. You make your way up the staircase.
Kitty, I think you need something more supportive.
For fuck's sake.
Marionette just knocked out. The fucking boob. I'm taking it. This is why I probably shouldn't admit on the internet. Yaz will be standing there and I'll go up to her and I'll put my hand underneath her boobs and I'll just lift up. And it's so easy to unbalance her. It's just like, I don't know if your partners have ever done it to you.
You get
like,
used to them being so heavy.
Whoa!
Exactly. You always have to course correct as it is.
Yeah, it's so good.
Oh dear.
you-
I'll wet myself.
Continue.
You go up the staircase, maybe 60 foot, and you end up in another flesh corridor. Seemingly again infinite. And if you make your way through this corridor a bit more, the staircase behind you disappears.
Is it reminiscent of anything like the castle? So, like in terms of like the staircase design, or just any parts of the castle?
I think from what you've seen already of the castle, it is not resemblant of that. Can't even
Appears the only thing we can do is just to continue on this road.
It seems as though we are being led, as it were.
I do think someone is, as they say, fucking with us somehow. But
How I am bored of that. What? Marco's got a sword.
Yeah, I think so.
Because I usually have a rapier, but it's obviously not there.
I don't know if I've actually got a sheet now.
Do we poke the wall, see what happens?
I
Do a hand solo on the thing. Wait a minute.
I don't think poking the wall's going to help. I think we do sort of just. I think we're being led somewhere, and that probably following it is the only way out. For podcast listeners, Ian started to very slowly sink in his chair.
It's the chair.
It's the sink.
Please, if you want to donate to the show, if
We can get a new chair.
if Secret Labs want to donate,
That'd be great.
that'd be amazing.
that'd
Like
be really
7
good.
cyberpunk chairs to the show. Oh my god.
Yeah.
There's bright yellow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, because
The
we're
lower.
all very old,
lumbar, yeah.
and we do need it.
the over 30 crew.
We are now over 30, aren't we? Because
Not yet.
No, because you're still the babby, aren't you?
Baby,
Oh.
baby Jack.
I'm nearly there.
That's the next emote. It's Jack like, and it just said baby. Just BB.
Babby.
BB. There you go, chat. Get on that, making that
I'm
emote.
so nearly there.
He's just grown facial hair, guys.
It looks like it as well. So
It's coming a bit thicker now, isn't it?
It's not. It's shit.
Donate so we can help grow his beard.
You're
Can we
not-
get you a turkey beard?
This
Can
is
we take you
taking
over
so
to-
long.
I'll get some turkey teeth from the bottom row and you get some.
Goodness.
My bottom row is awful. It looks like a row of bombed houses.
British, isn't it?
British.
It's like a bag of drop chips.
So what are you doing in this moment? You again in this small corridor. Are you just continuing to seeing what you can find? Are you trying anything new? Just so I know what you're up to.
I feel like poking the wall.
Can we do like a perception check to see if there's anything that stands out as being, I mean, weirder than being in a cavern made of flesh?
Maybe you'll pick up on a new sense. With
Maybe.
like, what the fuck is that? And we're like, oh, yeah.
Smell things.
Roll me a
Into
perception
new
check.
senses.
If anyone else wants to do the same,
Oh,
by all
no,
means
it's
do.
bad.
I'll use Marcus's perception. No, it would
We
be.
don't know his stats, so
11.
Don't worry about it.
okay.
Fear does not like being in this body. It's just
Not
like,
used to it. The
no.
eyes are different. It's
Yeah.
all
Yeah. I think Marinette is a bit sensory overloaded. She's got an 11.
11.
Yeah, Kitty got an 8 because she can't sense anything. She's feeling a bit
Yeah.
frozen.
Mm.
Yeah.
5 on the dice for Marcus's body, but if he takes the glasses off, he's just going to be blinded by any light. So it's like
Ticking
fucking.
now as well.
Oh yes, I'm just overwhelmed by the noise. Ugh, sensory.
God, that'd be awful.
Just constant ticking.
tinnitus, but
Constant.
worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think you would carry on moving a little bit, just so you can see if you can find any difference in the corridor at any point. Eventually, you find another spiral staircase. This time, it goes down,
Oh.
but you feel like the gravity's heavier. And again, about 60 foot down, you find another corridor exactly the same as it was before. About sort of 20, 30 foot into this corridor, you then find a sort of projection of a picture on the side of the wall. And it's definitely a depiction of a vampire being revered by thousands and thousands of people.
Is it the founder?
I'm not even going to make you make a check. It is absolutely the founder. You would imagine who would be revered this much. Absolutely.
Of course it's the bloody
It does appear that our
Of
entire
course.
journey is about this individual, so it's not surprising that we find him here.
And it's kind of like it's in like a picture frame, but it's like it's not tangible. You can't touch it, but you can clearly see this little picture. And you all hear a voice. Accept your fates.
Well, it appears we have no choice, mysterious stranger. I accept
All right,
my
Douglas.
fate. Please, could I have my own body back? And I have said please. This one is slow and heavy.
There is no response,
How,
but it echoes and reverbs
Oh.
around this place. It's just
how does one then accept one's fate?
I have found that usually means death, and just being accepting
We've already
of it.
done that.
Several times it appears.
Time.
I mean, Kitty died 4 days ago.
Brutally.
Brutally murdered.
Did it look like the picture moved or anything like that? Or was it just...
no. It stayed exactly where it was when you found it.
Do you say it was kind of not physical?
Yeah, it's like it's kind of hard to explain. It's almost like it's like blurry. It looks like it's real if you're a bit far away. You're like, oh, that's a picture on the wall. But as soon as you get kind of closer, you can see it kind of like blurs a little bit. And maybe if you touch the frame a little bit, just your hand kind of goes through it.
Like an illusion.
What
Yeah,
if-
essentially.
Is it the same if we touch the picture?
Yeah. It's exact the whole way around. It seems to just be a projection, or as you say, an illusion.
Could this be a doorway, perhaps? It feels like the only.
Well, it appears that we can go through the walls. I mean, I'd be happy to try again. I accept my fate.
Oh, good lord! There he goes.
You are sucked in. I'm assuming like where this kind of frame.
Rather be
picture is.
sucked off.
Wow.
Marcus, I mean what?
It's all Marcus.
And you are sucked into the wall, but nothing happens. You are in total darkness right now. What about the rest of you? You don't hear that.
I think just wildly looking around for the exit points.
Sure. I mean, I'm not going to make you make a check. You can't see any other exit points. The corridor goes left and right from where you're looking at the frame. It's infinite. You can't see the edge of it.
Can we check the picture for? I guess just do another like perception. Yes, the clues.
Do an investigation check if you want to look real close at this picture.
Also.
Investigation.
Fuck me!
That isn't it.
Is it like compressed darkness? I'm inside like a skin sack.
Yeah. I mean, if you can imagine feeling like you're in a wall.
Yeah.
You know,
You don't really get soft play.
It's just in a wall. It feels like you're being
through the foam rollers.
through the foam rollers in a soft play.
Yeah.
But like, I imagine there's more of them.
Squishy.
I imagine it's like being inside a fleshlight.
You feel definitely
Pliable and slightly down.
compressed.
This one isn't mine.
It's almost
It's what I left earlier.
This one I found down the dump.
it's almost strangling. It feels like you almost can't breathe. You're like you can breathe just enough to be alive.
15 on that.
15. So what are you looking for in this picture exactly? Are you just trying to see if there's any other details in this picture, that kind of thing? Or?
Just any indication that it is something that could help us proceed or accept our fates as the suggested.
You look sort of deeper into the picture, and you can see
Come into the picture.
a few more details. You can see what looks like the silhouette of Kanrath in the background. It looks like it's not as grand as it used to be. Well, what you know of it, anyway, at least. This picture looks like it was created as a picture of the past, not the future. You really don't see much else in it. I mean, you can't see any of the people's faces. They're all sort of facing away from you as you look at it, and they're all just kind of like praying to this founder.
Is there any, I suppose, retrospectively, as in kind of the table, are the children with him, or is it just
him?
Is there any familiarity to the voice that we heard?
In comparison to what?
I don't know. Do we recognise it? Like,
have we heard it before?
Is it a familiar voice? The timbre and cadence.
Timbre.
No.
Sorry.
No.
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 I'd say no.
Cool.
I mean, the voice, I should say, it sounds a bit like two voices overlaid.
Okay. Ooh, that's very interesting. Because
like, it starts out deep.
Yeah.
Accept your fate.
Ooh.
It's really good.
Does it kind of does that kind of sound like kind of what we've got going on at the moment with like our internal voice and the external kind of being a weird overlappy?
Does it sound like a human turning into a vampire?
I'd say it's more on the lines of your suggestion.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a very similar sort of thing. Could be a connection, you don't know, but
To the Grand Advisor. She fucking with us.
I don't.
she was there in that room when you all...
And she's not here now.
No. Do we need to just?
I think we should just go.
Is it
Accept
I
our
mean,
fates.
in this entire time, Farkas has not come out of the wall.
is accepting our fate sort of? Because we've switched. Do we need to? What do we need to do to get back?
I don't know about you, but I'm going in.
Okay.
And
We could just run at each other and see
Mia-
what happens.
Mia will go in the wall as well to try and chase after his body.
There's just two knocked out women on the floor. Two vampires on the wall.
Are you guys going sort of
TPK
in the wall
ourselves.
as well?
Can we try and run at each other and swap back?
Sure, yeah, you can run at each
Take a
other.
little run up.
100 foot.
Mickey
Full
will
speed.
have to jump.
I know who's getting the worst of it.
Somebody's got
It's
to
the
be
one that's
brutally
not made of
murdered.
metal.
Are you sure about
If there's
this?
any
Yes.
self-loathing or self-hate about your own body, now is the time to take it out.
Kitty
When you
doesn't
can't
hate
feel it. Always hated that arm. Off it goes.
I'm making unarmed strike against each other. I just want to see if you hurt each other or not.
I'm going to embrace my own body as it
Okay.
comes in.
Have even got an arm strike on
12.
that thing? Oh, there we go. Oh shit. 19.
Okay. So
So
Like a train.
So mine doesn't hit my AC. Yours
Ah.
does.
So Kitty takes an unarmed strike, so like a D4.
D4.
Yeah. Worth of damage.
It's only 2. It's
so
fine.
2
I'll
points of
take
bludgeoning
2
damage.
Yeah.
I'll
Maybe
take
like you
2.
catch each other's heads,
Ah,
and it's
that's
just
quite a feat
a bit of like just
to catch each
gash
other's
them, yeah.
heads.
Well, I don't know. Maybe Kitty jumped higher. I don't know.
Sprung like a little.
Just like runs and just fucking flying knees are in there. Bonk.
I think Kitty's like just feeling like the power of like being in this really like
Yeah.
just
You just
hard
underestimate
body.
what you can do.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Very
How many teeth is
exciting.
she missing now? Make it canon.
No,
Yeah.
Guys,
Can you buy?
I think I bit my tongue.
That's her voice for the rest of the campaign.
Oh no, we can't do that again.
Please no.
Guys.
I don't think this is a good idea.
Oh, dandelion.
You both collapse to the ground and you kind of shake your head a bit. And you sort of speak that your voice is nothing's changed.
Well, it was worth a try.
Well, into the painting then, I guess. Together. Wizard of Oz style.
Yeah, okay. Cool.
There's 4 jackasses inside a sphincter, just curled up next to a turd.
So
It's not fair to call Marcus there.
Like it was just Marcus and Fear just sat on a turd, just like this is a bad miss.
I think Farkas, as you're in the wall, as other people enter the wall, you can kind
It's
of
never
feel
not
them
funny.
kind of like some of the wall is being pushed against you. You can feel other things entering the space that you're in. And when you
Try not to make it sexual.
me too. As you enter this wall, you all end up on the other side of this wall. Again, you're in a corridor, but at the end of this corridor is a double door. It is made of marble.
Not fleshy.
Not
Ooh.
fleshy. But
Well, it
is-
appears we have found our fate.
Onwards.
Indeed.
Hope you don't mind, Marcus.
Yeah, you make your way up to this this door, and it gives as you push it. It's not locked, and it opens into a large, great hall. It is made of darkened granite. The space is somehow lit by a source that you cannot perceive. The ceilings are about 30 foot high, but you can see the ceilings. In the middle of this hall lies a Gothic marble fountain. Blood flowing from it, filling the pool beneath it. 3 sanguine elementals are guarding this hall, but they are not aggressive. They notice your entrance into the space, but they seem to pay you no mind and can continue to patrol this open space. On the left, as you enter, there are 10 statues that depict mortals, but with the faces, they are indistinguishable from each other. They're almost just blank facades. They all wield various weapons, shields, and magical items, but in marble forms. There's nothing you sort of can take. And on the right, there are about 5 paintings. Yeah, you're in this open space before you.
What now, apparition? What painting do we behold?
Let's go look at the artwork.
You
The
wanna go-
artwork.
The artwork. Okay, so
You there, blood bastard. Stay over there.
He doesn't even react to you or anything. Blood bastard. For fuck's sake.
Well, I've none of your hepatitis.
Jesus Christ. So, the first painting that you come to depicts the silhouette of Kanrath, but painted red with a black sky behind it. Very simple picture. There's no particular details about it. It's maybe intentionally so. The second picture depicts a colossal military table with a chalice dropped on it, beneath which the map is painted red with blood. But the blood looks real. It looks like you could touch it and feel the blood. The third one depicts a young vampire standing over an elderly vampire on the ground. You don't recognise these vampires. You're not sure really what it depicts as such. You can make your own mind of that how you will. The fourth one is a simple white canvas, but splattered with blood all over it. There's nothing else in this artwork whatsoever. And on the fifth one is the portrait of a robed skeletal figure.
Death.
Huh?
Death.
You don't. It's not. No one knows really what death looks like, other than sort of like depictions in books and such. But they have ruby gems in their sockets where eyes would be. It's only after a moment of looking at this fifth picture is that the lich is kind of moving.
Ooh.
That's just not right.
And yes, I did say lich. It is a lich.
This lich?
They seem to like follow you as you sort of like go from left to right.
Just the eyes, or like the whole kind of.
Kind of like the
Are you
head's
coherent?
slightly moving slightly,
Yeah.
just kind of following your position.
Are you coherent? Can you talk?
Nothing comes out.
Does it?
Nod if you can hear us.
Mm.
No movement of the head that would say.
No, no.
Just no, can't hear.
If we look at it from the side, is it like a flat? Is it like flush against the wall, or is it like somehow 3D looking?
I'd say it looks flat, but it looks like it's almost like ebbing, almost
Like jumping through a portrait in Mario.
a bit like that, I suppose. Yes, a bit like the texture of water in ripples.
Why show us these? This is clearly important.
Important.
I can't drop it.
And that's the only one that's like that.
Yeah, it's the only one that seems to be sort of moving in any sort of way.
Well, it seems like the scariest one, but I feel like it's the
Or
rich.
any.
Always got a thought.
And like, in Marcus's body, you are now seeing like the intent eyes of fear staring at the chalice on the table. And we... Nope, wrong voice. We
Come on, you Farkas, come on.
we are being... I want to get this right.
Somebody.
I imagine it's
We are being shown.
I imagine that's actually what you sound like, trying to find your voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very hard to understand, but we have been led along this goose chase from the very start, and it has been rather frustrating. And I have said that many times, it's always the people with the power that are going to be the problem. Is it possible that we are being shown, we've been shown the founder, and we are clearly being shown something else? Is this the founder's death?
I confess, that
It's hard, isn't it?
it is. My thoughts have been running along a similar track. I've had an uneasy feeling about. The niggling feeling that there was never a funeral for the founder, only a coronation for the Crimson King. It's just strange to me.
Now, let me put another thought in your head. My master, this Cain, was supposedly a friend of the founders and of the children, and we've seen all of our masters on that hunt. Yet, who had the most to gain from the death of the founder? As far as I can see, the only benefactor is the person who next is in line.
Indeed.
What do we know of the first child, who is now the king, right? That's what you told us before.
You know him to be the Crimson King.
Is he magical?
In what sense?
As in, like, is he a fucking lich? Like, is he a wizard?
You don't know the classification of such. He is certainly a very powerful vampire, and that brings its own power of sorts.
We came through that painting of the founder being revered. We are now here, where we see this chalice over a map. That is not placed.
No.
That is blood from a chalice that has been spilt. Could he have been poisoned by... Does the fourth picture represent that blood splatter being the death of the founder, and the final one is the first child? If so, and my master was friends with the founder, maybe this is why I was bred to kill the first child, the new king of Kanrath. What if it is all anger and malevolence?
Can I take a closer look at the young vampire standing over the elderly and see if there's any discernible sort of like body language or facial expressions that would belie any context to this tableau?
Like a child slaying
Sure.
their father.
I'd say maybe like an insight check.
Sure.
Obviously, there's a stationary picture of body language.
What are the orders? Because I've never written down
The what, sorry?
the orders of the actual pictures. So it's
The first one.
Kanrath, which is in red,
Yep. And then
with a
the
black skyline, yeah?
Yes, and then a military table with a chalice.
Military table, and that's with the spilt chalice, yeah?
Yep. And then the young vampire standing over the elderly one.
Young over old.
And then the black
to boot.
canvas with the blood over it.
Blood canvas.
And then the portrait of a lich with ruby as eyes.
It's not too... Sorry.
14.
You certainly see the young vampire's face. Looks proud. The face of the elderly vampire. They're definitely dead in this scene.
Okay.
So it's really hard to tell
I mean,
what they
yeah,
may be
he's
feeling in
dead.
their last moments, perhaps.
Sure.
But you can make your own sort of decision as the young vampire looks certainly proud of what's going on.
If this is the death of the founder, and we are seeing, and you know, my theory is that the first killed them to gain that power. What does the first and now ruler of Kanrath have to gain from breaking into the crypt and setting off the blood rain again and taking the father's items and taking them to Cyherested? Is this somebody now working against the murder of the founder, or is this the new king fucking with the kingdom?
It feels like someone's trying to
And why now?
sow the truth, I feel.
Yes, and why now, when we have just been told that it has to be one of the children? When we are, as far as I'm aware, should be in the Grand Advisor's room, and yet here we are in this illusion being fucked with.
There is someone inside, I feel, that is...
Telling us now,
Yes.
they want us to clearly accept our fate and see something.
I have a question.
Yes.
When vampires die, does it happen like the same as it would for anyone? Like blood stops pumping, decay sets in, etc., etc., etc.
This is a very good question. I've not read much about it in this one,
All right.
rather than dying, because they live such a long time. I think eventually it does, but it takes a lot longer.
Sure.
Oh, okay.
I think there's a wonderful
Very good.
theories. Now, I'm going to take us back to the first blood rain. And if we remember, because I have it in my handy little tabbed note,
Nerd.
that it has been said to us that only the founder was able to cast the blood rain, and we keep coming up to the founder's blood.
What if he's still alive?
Exactly.
What if this is his recompense back on the city to reclaim and kill his children?
There was no funeral. You'd think that for one so revered, there would be lying in state, there would be mourning.
True,
There was only the coronation. No one has seen his body. He is kept beneath the castle.
and the cult is only a cult in terms of reclaiming his things.
And perhaps if someone wanted to recast the blood rain and needed his blood, he would still have to be in some semblance of life or undeath to provide such material.
The question is, I suppose, if he does need, if it is only him and his blood that can cast the blood rain, we need to know where he cast it from. If it's a set point in time, an artifact or an item, or if it is a ritual or spell.
Have that information. It was in the Freedom Square, was it not? And because we've been told it was a public and yet private casting of the spell. The guards, his sanguini boys,
Sanguini boys!
were set to guard the square. He was in the centre of it, casting.
So, if it is the founder, then surely he'd have to be out in the open.
And when we came back
again?
through the square, there were not witnesses, but people that, parents of that child, and also others that had not, well, had come out to see what was going on. Have we missed a witness? Also, again, I come back to why are we being shown this now? Like, this is another...
It had to be somewhere central. That was what we were told. It had to be somewhere within reach of... He needed the breadth.
Marcus, what are your thoughts?
I just want out of this body.
It's rather painful, I will admit. Yours is not.
You seem to be thriving.
I would like mine back. The question is we need to pick a point to focus on. Not necessarily the blood rain, but we need to... We are here clearly to be shown something. And these pictures are obviously all showing us a story, and they're all showing us... I mean, this has to be the death of the founder.
I mean, it's a very dramatic way to go about it, but I mean...
It's one thing I've learned is vampires are not very dramatic. However...
Such flair.
I don't think we're the children.
No, I wasn't thinking that. I'm just thinking, so we've been told accept our fate.
I mean, is our fate to be restoring
Does
the founder
this
to
mean
glory?
anything? Is there anything in these images that any of you can relate to?
I mean my whole existence is literally to kill the firstborn of the current king of...
Indeed.
I mean, that lovely work of contemporary art there does remind me of my brutal murder.
How were you murdered? You were quite elusive on that. We really would like the details.
I mean, it's right there on the canvas.
Brutal in an alleyway.
So I want to go.
Oh my god.
He died how he lived. Brutal in an alleyway.
Do we get the impression that the last painting is like a doorway, like the one that we came into?
Or are they all like that?
Certainly different.
It's different. Okay.
I think
Yeah, it looked like an illusion, that first one. This one looks like it's actually there.
Right. Okay.
perhaps we should have a look at some of the other things in this room.
I think so.
For example, those lovely statues.
Mm.
Let's go and have a look at the statues.
Yeah, you...
Ian's out.
Fuck this, I'm out.
Fucking statues, no mate.
So
I lost my immersion.
you go to these statues, sort of maybe one by one, just to see if there's any particular details about them. Seemingly quite blank and unnamed. You can see a couple of them are wielding swords. One of them is in sort of a combat position, ready for a fight. One is a bit more reserved, maybe very soldier-like, perhaps. A couple of them don't wield weapons at all, but maybe one has a sort of a tome at the side, looking sort of quite prim and proper. There's no names on these statues. Their faces are, as I said, blank facades. There's nothing there. To discern things about them, almost impossible.
Are they all the same body? So like they're all like of one person in different
Similar
poses?
size, but not the same.
No.
Some of them are clearly female presenting, other ones not.
That's my next
Can we just
question.
kind of... Can I detect any traces of magic on them?
On the statues themselves,
Yes.
yeah. That's another Arcana check, please.
So statues,
Yep.
fountain,
Yours.
hepatitis A, B, and C,
Yeah, and they're sort of like circling this pool.
and paint wands.
Yes.
18 on that.
18. You don't find anything magical about the statues specifically. Your whole experience in this place, whatever it is so far, makes you feel like everything here is manifested in some way.
Okay.
Do we know anything about elementals in terms of like blood elementals and how they behave, or if they, because obviously meta-wise, Ian's like, well, elementals are usually like guard or protect something, and I'm like, I kind of want to pull on that thread and the fountain, but I also, because there's a fountain in the square,
Yeah.
which I'm like, is this the fountain?
Well,
Is this the blood rain?
There's a fountain outside the courthouse as well, wasn't
Yeah.
there?
What fountains?
Well, fountains. Like there are fountains in
Oh,
Kanrath.
yeah.
Suspicious.
Suspicious Kanrathian fountain.
You guys have known garden centres a lot recently.
You wouldn't find this at a garden centre, I'll tell you.
Yeah, would we know, like,
I mean-
if they react, like, are they protective or are they just here because they're just here?
Just vibing.
You can see they're following a certain path as they go around. Sometimes they go like clockwise around the fountain, but every now and then will change direction and go anti-clockwise. They have a certain route. You imagine they are guarding something. You don't know what it is in its entirety, but you know that elementals would react if attacked.
Yeah.
You know.
I just get the feeling that when we interact with whatever it is we're supposed to see here, it is going to test us.
Indeed.
Also, the idea that this person here is a lich. And I'm saying that surely there was a plaque that said lich underneath it, which is why I know that.
No, it's because I said it.
Yeah. I am just dubious as to our next steps. What they want to show us here is clearly that there is betrayal, treachery
Indeed.
within the family. But why us? Why now? Why while we're in the Grand Advisor's office?
Wah, we
Wah,
wah.
Why we?
Wah, we wah.
They're the questions, and I've got it on a band. Marcus has got it on a band here. Why we wah?
Wah,
Canon
we
Marcus is
wah.
wearing a why we wah band. We have to interact with something here, I feel. And as soon as we do this,
Shit's going down.
well, yes, I imagine that this
Wait.
body's going to get used.
Was the fountain... Did it have blood in it, or was it just...
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
okay.
Oh, yeah!
It's
I can't remember what you said,
actively flowing
Flowing.
blood.
It's like day 2.
Oh, come on.
Took me a few seconds. Was like,
Oh.
yeah, fair enough.
Mean flow.
Yeah,
What a
it's,
bitch.
That's my next character,
It
just
is-
Lady Cramps.
Oh.
It is full to the brim with blood.
Ooh, like a full moon cup.
Fucking Christ.
Shot glass. Here.
Anyway. Anyway.
Anyway.
Oh, let's make it more uncomfortable.
So what are you doing in this room?
I'm drinking from a moon cup.
Yeah, are you drinking from this fountain?
No.
Okay.
How I think
Are you?
There we go. We got some information out of him.
I think Mitty is going to try and slowly approach a little bit closer towards the fountain.
Okay.
But demurely and mindfully.
Farkas will keep an eye on Mitty from a few paces back, hand on pistol.
Okay. Are you just sort of slowly trying to see, like, gauge what the elemental's reaction to it?
Yeah, to see like how close they'll like kind of let me get without kind of reacting.
Okay. You start sort of slowly pacing towards the fountain, which I'd say is maybe like 30 foot away from you at the point.
So far with these little legs.
And they stop their patrol, and the one nearest to you sort of faces your direction. Not in a threatening way, but does approach you.
Okay.
And it looks straight at you, but it's standing still. It's just locked onto you. Are you like looking into its eyes, or are you just gonna like?
I think I'm gonna look at it to kind of keep like, is this okay? Can I? And I'm gonna keep going.
I think as you sort of maybe like get right next to the elemental, it kind of, because it's about like sort of 10 foot high, and it's kind of like peeking over at you. You hear like a low grunt.
Ooh.
Of affirmation.
Okay. Sort of curtsy. Thank you. And I will approach the fountain.
Okay. Yeah, you approach the fountain. It's made out of quite dark stone, not as dark as the granite that you're seeing on the walls and floors, but it's pristine condition. Everything about it is beautifully made, and the blood in this fountain is dark. It's rich. You can see, if you've seen types of blood in your time, it looks almost like it's velvety.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean that's what you see when you approach.
Okay.
And it's slowly sort of almost like bubbling, almost as it's being sort of projected out the top.
Yeah.
Are we supposed to drink this?
You get no response from anyone.
Marcus, where's your straw?
I don't have a straw. I take it
Maria,
from
be
the necks.
careful!
Dip.
We'll just put your finger
I'm
in
gonna
it.
dip a tip.
I think not Marinette, well, Carrionette's like...
I mean, yeah, you dip a finger into it. Nothing seems to happen, but it's warm.
Ooh, a new feeling.
What is this feeling?
What is this feeling that's so sudden and new?
Okay. If you're going to put that to your mouth, Farkas is like eyes wide, watching. It like big, like that smile. The fear smile is now on Marcus's face as like the grin.
And, yeah, Marionette Mitty has a whole new sense of freedoms, and this is a kid discovering the world for the first time.
Do it.
Oh.
How determined are you to put that in your mouth? Like you just go like going straight for
I think
Really?
it's
It's going in.
I think there's a lot of trepidation, because I think this is a whole new set of feelings and sense, and like this is a lot of overload all at once. But it's a bit slow and still sort of like looking around like this. Is this okay? Is
Do
this
it.
fine?
What you don't know, what you don't notice is the elementals got closer to you
Okay.
as you've dipped your finger in, sort of looking like you want to taste it. It's leaning over you, watching your every move.
Does it look like it's poised to attack? From my position of being pretty
Make an
close.
insight check.
Oh, it's a cocker.
That's a cocker.
Oh, it's a 9.
Plus.
With my insight though, which is really high, it's a 9.
Okay. Nice.
Would I also do, because I'm watching...
Yeah,
I mean,
you're
you're
in the same space.
Marcus! Roll a nat 20, Marcus.
I am
Do it.
watching like an
Roll for it.
absolute hawk. Mainly
I thought you were going to say like an absolute whore.
Oh,
Oh!
Oh, that's a bad miss.
That is a 9 as well.
Yay! In all fairness, Fear is so fixated now on the fact that you are going to taste blood. And like, if it was an anime, we would see Fear's face poking through Marcus's. It's like the skin changes to like,
like the
Fear's
mask.
face. Yeah, and it's just like, do it.
Marcus made a roll and had a 19.
Ooh.
But I mean,
Auto rifle goes off.
I think you're both just kind of like keeping aware of your surroundings, like see what's going to happen. And you notice that Mia doesn't make any move to stop what's happening.
Okay.
Make of that what you will. But the elemental, as you go to taste it, the elemental grabs your wrist.
Good to know.
And you again hear a low growl, but this time of not affirmation.
Okay.
Oh.
I will.
Very much a no.
I will not.
I don't think that's correct.
No. Tried, failed.
Is it possible because Lady Kitty is not a vampire? Would you bequeath me, kind elemental, sanguinian elemental, a taste of the finest, most succulent blood meal?
I'm glad you said blood
A
meal.
succulent sanguine meal.
He doesn't talk. It looks to you, and
Show Marcus's fangs. In a non-threatening way.
it doesn't make any noise. It looks to you because it has quite clearly reacted to you trying to talk to it, but it doesn't say anything.
A scoop of the blood.
That's good. Blood.
It doesn't know what you talk of.
I hit it with the blood.
Are you actually getting blood?
Yeah, a scoop of the blood.
Okay, you're right. You
I
actually.
hit it with the blood.
And as you sort of approach, your mouth grabs your wrist again.
Okay.
Clearly understood. Would you like it?
No reaction.
Does
Try-
Marionette, you have like, is it canisters or is it
I've
like...
got like little openy uppy pods.
I think Marionette's going to move over to the
Ooh, my
fountain
little blood vials.
and kind of
Moon cup.
get one of the moon cups out.
Cannon! Moon cup cannons! Oh my god, that could be the next thing, just like...
Boing!
Effective.
This is a horrified man on an angst carriage somewhere like...
Oh my god, the suction release.
Oh yeah. It's like one of those
It's got a bloody clot in it!
Yeah.
So, what are you doing with blood? Ignore this fucker over it.
Were yours full?
So I've
Were they all
got
full or
I've got
no?
4. No. I've got 7 that are full, and I think I've got 3 empty vials currently.
Okay, fine. I'm going to get one of the empty vials and unattach it and try and scoop it in blood.
Scoop it in blood.
Scoop it in blood.
Scoop it in
Let's
blood.
go with the blood.
And I'll just kind of slowly try and...
Are you okay with this?
Are you trying to sneak this blood?
Not sneak.
Okay,
no,
okay,
no, I mean,
no,
I'm
no,
like,
Quite the
no.
opposite.
Can
Okay.
I?
I'm like, can I?
You're quite obvious, just gonna.
Like looking at one of the things and be like, can I,
It makes no move to stop you.
Okay.
You slowly dip in the vial
Yeah.
to pick up some.
Mhm.
Doesn't stop you.
She's scoop it in blood.
You scoop it in blood.
You-
Blood.
Maybe it's got like a little lid that's kind of attached on the end. You just kind of flip
It's
it
got one
over.
of those like little bungs on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you put the bung back on. It again makes no move to stop you.
Ooh. Okay, I'm gonna like.
And you
Just gonna
put it back in wherever Marionette would hold them. And it still does not stop you.
Ooh.
Mind link.
So, do you have to use them to? I can't remember how your
So,
mechanics work.
blood link. You establish a telepathic link with a creature if you have a vial of blood on your person. Once the link is established, you can talk to the target telepathically, providing you speak a common language. The spell ends if the target is dead, unconscious, or in a different plane of existence. It is a range of 120. It is a range of 120 feet.
So if it is the founder's blood, then if as long as it's close enough.
He is the fountain. He is the fountain.
Fountain.
Oh. Help have been trapped for years.
I fell
Hey,
in.
hey, Morty! Morty, look, I'm a fountain! A fountain founder!
And tripped and fell, and I fell in the fountain.
I'm the founder.
I'm in the fountain.
Can I try and make a link with?
Where's this campaign? Oh, he's changing the music.
I don't know that I
No,
have
it's
the
fine.
spell slots.
Do you not? Oh no!
Let me check.
Well, we're not in real life.
I do not have the spell slots.
You have what
just
seemingly
there.
you think is vial of the founder plug.
Oh,
And you can't use them any other way. Like you
no,
can't kind of
fuck
use them
off.
to.
Sorry.
Fuck off.
Fuck off. Sorry. You can have my last second level spell.
Are you sure?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, Mariette, if you don't mind, darling.
Bastards.
Yeah, so I'm going to make a
Jean?
telepathic link.
Okay.
Conflict.
Yeah, very much
I'm going
conflict.
to use that note.
Wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
But
How do you like it?
That's what this is all about. Okay. You feel like the link connects.
How does it feel?
How does it feel?
I think purely because Kitty herself is magical and knows a few spells.
Just a few.
I think you have a heightened sense of how these sorts of spells work and how they feel. You feel the connection link, but it's almost like it's patchy.
Bad signal.
Bad signal,
Yeah,
that kind of
yeah.
thing.
I'm in the fountain.
Um,
Sorry, I'm going through a fountain right now.
the first thing you actually hear
Wait, don't.
is another phrase.
I'm in the fountain.
Oh, fucking Christ. I should have expected it, to be honest.
Oh, it's nice being on this side of it. Quite nice. Oh.
You hear
Yes.
a voice that you have heard before, not too long ago.
Ooh.
In 6 pictures ago.
Yes. If my math serves me correctly.
And it always does.
It says, embrace your destiny.
Ooh.
I mean, we're trying. Give us something. No, he doesn't obviously hear any of that.
You all hear, however, another voice.
Ooh.
I'm in your fountain.
Oh, shucks.
What a turn my existence has taken.
Ooh.
I turn to the lich photo.
Yeah.
This sounds like where the sound was coming from.
Hello.
Marcus's gun is out. Stay back, you cretin!
Can I speak back? Telepathically?
To
Yep.
well, the family.
Yeah.
You can for
You can.
up to 10 minutes.
Fantastic.
Help.
I think I'm going to just say, well,
Are you a fountain?
are you the fountain?
Oh, you found him.
No.
Then where?
No, you don't hear that at all.
I think I'm just going to ask. So, destiny, though. What do you mean by this destiny? I'd like to know more information before I embrace it with open arms.
Your blood is sealed.
But it's in
Where?
tubes. That's how blood works, mate.
Okay,
Is
this.
that all the information you're going to give me, or
Like I said, it feels patchy, but it
Right,
also
okay.
it feels.
am I kind of catching like bits and bobs of a whole?
Well, give me an Arcana check.
Okay. Ooh, that was a natural 20. For a 22.
So you get the sense that what you're connected to is not a fully developed consciousness.
Ooh.
Oh. Could I?
Are we supposed to help?
We can't hear this.
Yeah.
I might because I think what Karinette is kind of thinking at the moment is that she is talking to the founder, but kind of almost like a regenerating version.
Yeah.
I guess. Your blood is taken. Okay, I'm gonna essentially.
The words where your blood is sealed.
Your blood is sealed. Sorry, your blood is sealed.
What do you have to say for yourself?
Frown.
Oh, you should have worn me tenor lady today.
Fucking lunatics, I swear. Yeah.
Eleanor.
You all hear another the voice of the voice of the Lich speaks up again.
Leave. I crave the darkness.
Well, turn the light out then.
And I think Kitty is going. Sorry, Kitty Annette.
Kitty
Kitty Annette sounds like a
Kitchenette.
Kitchenette. Kitchenette. Kitchenette's expensive. Well, I have heard something in my head, and it's not very clear. All this talk about embracing destiny. Apparently, our blood is sealed. It does appear to me that this is a not a fully formed. How do we say? Consciousness. I have a theory.
Well, the problem right now is that that picture's bloody talking to us.
But who do we trust? Is the picture the blood voice, or
You say you're talking to a consciousness. Did it sound like the voice we heard before?
did it sound like the voice? It sounded like the voice from the painting. Am I right?
The first painting way back when.
First, yeah.
What you're hearing?
So what? Yeah.
Yes.
So yes, it did sound like the voice from the painting earlier, but
Oh.
not the same as the Lich voice.
No.
Asking
No.
if we should trust the Lich.
I shall ask. So that charming fellow in the painting, on the same side as you? Question mark. Question mark. Or I might do it in more of like a simple way. It's like Lich in painting trust. If it's like a half form like consciousness.
You get a response, but it doesn't feel like it's a direct answer to what you're asking. You are not alone here.
It's saying that we're not alone here, but I feel like we already know that.
Can the first child see us? That's what I think this is.
Because I feel that is way more sinister than anything that's in my head right now.
And who would want to not see the return of the founder? The person who slayed them. And if we are to assume that that is the first child being the person who had the most to gain from the death of the founder, then they're potentially seeing us. And I'm like seeing like in my mind, like in Rebels, when we go to the world beyond worlds, and like Emperor Palpatine's like seeing on Ezra, but also, so that's sort of what I'm getting.
Yeah, but fleshy.
Yeah.
Ooh.
How do we? So what do we do? Like, I'm happy to pull the trigger.
We were exsanguinated, and then we were renewed with. We went through a river of blood.
And we saw the mountains in the distance and a figure.
Whereabouts
sounds,
are you in this room?
Oh, I'm still by the
I
fountain.
think
Yeah,
I'll
I'm
probably still be
next
by
to
the
her.
fountain
I'm
because I've just stayed.
You're getting in the fountain.
I'm thinking about getting in the fountain.
I feel like
What's it? Kitty's getting down to it.
You tell me.
It seems to me. I mean, your blood is sealed. Sounds very much like we were used in some way to maybe reignite, reinstate the founder.
Is exsanguination a popular form of capital punishment?
Oh, yeah.
Or is it used as like a... What if our blood was used by the founder to start regenerating himself, and we're the...
When we came back, because I looked at my tubes, and my tubes were nice and shiny and new with blood, weren't they? It was all fresh blood. Is the blood that we came back with reminiscent of the blood in this fountain? Because I could see it.
You can see it, you're right.
Because it was in my arms.
Okay, roll me a medicine check.
What? Hey!
Ask the voice if they brought us back.
14.
You're not sure. It looks a bit brighter, your blood.
Yeah.
But you can't really discern any particulars about it.
Yeah, I think I'm going to ask the voice. Did you bring us back?
I don't think you get a response.
He's not, no response, my
Ask
friend.
if we should get in the fountain.
Should we get in the fountain?
I think you also get a no response.
Okay, to the lich painting. So who are you then? If you're clearly here and are seeing things and your day has taken a turn, how do you think we bloody feel?
I certainly have taken a turn, and I would like to do so again.
Oh. How so?
No response.
Are we here to help you? Are we here to... Why? Are you showing us this, or are you being shown this?
No response.
Oh, don't be all chatty and then disappear then. Bloody vampires.
Do you have any of the... I'm guessing you have none of the blood left from when you were re-thingied.
It's still that's the blood running through you right now, baby.
I'm just not sure how you
I haven't had my my fuel up yet.
Right,
because it hasn't been long enough
Farkas
yet.
will
Move over to the first painting of Kanrath.
Yep.
Can you go through it?
You touch canvas. It's physically there in the space. You can see that all these paintings on this wall are hung on very simple nails behind. You go to sort of press against, you kind of feel like the wall behind. You don't go through it.
Nothing happens.
But you hear the Lich's voice again.
Don't touch my companions.
Oh, companions. Oh.
Okay, well now you're back again and nice and talky. So why not at least stop talking to us? Because I'm not going to lie, I've had a bloody bad day. I have been shouted at by someone who doesn't even have station. I am a noble vampire, supposedly of children's blood, and yet now I'm being told all over the place, no, I will touch your companions. Second picture, bang.
Ooh, tantrum.
Same thing happens. You feel the wall behind it, and the Lich doesn't say anything.
Oh, or do I have to get a knife out?
Nothing. You see the Lich turn in the picture, turns away from you.
That's right, you better look away.
It's kind of like covered by the robe, this kind of tattered black robe.
So is this the other children? Companions.
Right, hang on, let's look at this.
It's a bloody riddle, that's what it is. The end result is I'll be touching the final fucking picture.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. It's five portraits. We know 6. It's a military table. The general is the 5th child. We've got a white canvas spattered with blood. That's all that's spinning me out.
I don't think it's the children. I think this is the story. I think it's Kanrath is the city of vampires, which is why it's red. I then think the second picture, which is the military table and that chalice that's built on it, is betrayal or is either the blood's poisoned or something like that. Then we've got the canvas with the blood splats. That is I think a very simple picture of death.
Definitely.
Then we've got the perpetrator and the victim with the young standing over the old. And then I think the final one, that Lich, is literally the young person from that then being the power. And I think, interesting, it's a Lich.
Isn't it the young one the third one and the white canvas is the fourth one? Or like
Yeah.
So it's the other way around.
Yeah, the white canvas is the 4th.
Yeah, the white is the fourth. Yeah. You know, you were saying that the blood in the second one looks real. Was that just embellishment, or does it actually like if you touched it?
Well, I've just touched it.
Have you touched it? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say you get a little bit of blood on your hands just from like trying to press it, and it feels, looks like blood. Doesn't look like anything like the blood in the fountain, but it certainly looks like it's blood. It doesn't like smear on the painting either. It's still there.
Like a puddle.
Yeah.
Interesting. Focus. Is there anything on the back of the paintings, on the back of the canvases?
Which one are you?
First one.
First one. It looks like the back of the canvas. It's
No, painting. Second one.
Next one.
Very ordinary, and maybe when you're doing this, you're like pulling it off the nail at the back, and the second frame kind of like falls to the floor a little bit. But again, it's blank. There's nothing there, and you hear the lich. Yes, yes.
Oh,
No,
stop doing that.
Put them back on the wall.
No.
Yep.
It's so tense.
What if... Are these pictures trapping this lich here?
I think potentially.
He didn't seem happy about us messing with them in that way.
But then did when they came off the wall? What if these are...
Seals.
Yes.
I would have put a foot in the fountain.
Okay.
Mind my boots, darling.
You put your foot in the
You don't think that she's already got your character naked? You don't know Steph.
Nothing happens. The elemental doesn't stop you from putting your foot in the fountain.
Okay.
It feels certainly warm. You've got a warm foot.
I'll put my other foot in the fountain.
You have warm feet while you stand in this fountain.
Could I get one of the vials that has not the vial of blood that I just took?
Yep.
Open it up, and can I just put a drop in the fountain?
Okay.
Oh, now which vial are you putting in?
Well, what?
I would like to know.
So.
Okay, if I
Use
draw,
mine.
if I draw a little.
What? How? So, yeah, just tell
thing
me which of the
how it looks.
vials, because
So
I'm
we've
not
got
quite
1,
sure.
2, 3, 4. So I'll have 8 vials in there now. So they're like this.
Yeah.
These top 4 look older than those ones.
But do you know?
I know what's in them. I know.
wouldn't. I'm just gonna go for like, okay, the top one that looks older and probably the furthest one. So this one here. So they're
Sure.
on the. Yeah.
Someone's not paying attention.
Wyrens.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I wouldn't know what, because I wouldn't know what that is. Why would I know what that?
No, you
that
wouldn't.
No,
is?
you wouldn't.
Have you taken it from her to make the links? Because you have, haven't you? Because you two have had a conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Because the bottom 4 are
actually,
literally...
so I've
Would I
got
know
5
what
in
that
there
is
now.
then?
Because the bottom 4 are us,
Sorry, can
basically.
I?
Yeah. So you wouldn't
Change that.
maybe necessarily to be straight up.
Yeah,
You wouldn't maybe
yeah.
know the order because I don't think Marinette's revealed. It's always
No.
just been sort of open and pop in. So okay. So we've got those 4, and then that's Fia, Marcus. As you know, yeah. So Kitty, and then now apparently
Dead
Mystery Blood.
cultist.
Oh yeah, Dead Cultist Blood, and then new one
so
down there.
what blood are you putting in?
I think I'll put. If I can differentiate that if it's my blood.
I don't think you would be able to
No.
straight up
Could I
to be
roll?
real.
Can you
to see if I knew that it was my blood or not. Sniff it.
I mean,
Oh, no, I can't sniff.
no.
There would...
It's all very similar. What the
Yeah.
blood looks like. Do you think you're someone who's sort of trained in the art of blood alchemy?
Also, would you really care?
No, okay, I think I might. In that case, I feel like maybe I would have remembered that you put my blood in that second one, but I wouldn't know which. So can I roll like a d4 and then whichever one? Because I don't want to like.
No, but
I think that makes sense, doesn't it?
Unless you're asking Marionette's consciousness which one is what, you can just say, "I'll take the first one," or third one.
I could just ask. I don't know why I'm like rolling. Marionette, do you know which one was mine? In these lovely.
Oh yes, you're that one there.
Oh, thank you. I don't know why I was being so dramatic about it. So, we can roll for it. I'll put the one that's got mine. So I'll like do literally like a little drop.
I mean, it's quite a small amount of blood anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll say you can put 2 droplets in there. Surprisingly, the elementals don't stop you from doing so. Make a quick perception check as you do so.
I've been very perceptive. Ooh, that is a dirty 20.
Lovely.
You hear from the nearest elemental.
Yeah.
If you could imagine it, an elemental sniffing.
Ooh.
It makes the little sort of, but it sounds like air almost is kind of being sort of expelled almost as you sort of open with the bung of the blood capsule, and doesn't move to stop you. And you drop a few of the blood droplets in there, and you can see the blood that you drop in is certainly brighter. It starts to kind of like swirl around a little bit, and it's like mixing in with this darker velvety blood. And slowly you can see what once was your blood is now being turned into this dark velvety blood.
And nothing else.
Nothing else happens.
Well, the elementals did seem quite interested, but
I wonder if they don't want it tainted by something else, or if this is founder blood and this individual. Marcus, you really need to drink more. The front of that lich painting is still definitely not a canvas and seems to be like ebbing.
Yep.
Right.
Carry on.
Butter wouldn't fucking melt.
No.
We clearly have to do something here. Whether it's the only reaction we've seen in this room is to not drink that blood, or to anger that skinny-looking fellow in the robes. And I'm more inclined to piss that person off than the potential founder.
Do we have to piss anyone off, though?
It's the only reactions we've had so far.
I sit in the fountain.
Nothing happens.
I submerge myself in the fountain.
Still nothing happens.
I can't back out of the fountain.
darling, do you really have to abuse my body like this?
I'm sorry, I'm getting a bit carried away, but I'm just testing theories.
You are now covered in blood.
This is lovely.
But nothing happens. The elementals don't stop you. They don't seem angry or anything. They just kind of keep you guard.
Painting 3 was
That was
The
the
young vampire.
standing over.
hands to painting.
On the third one.
Yeah.
Nothing immediately happens.
Does the
But you
lich
get the same
react?
sort of feeling. It's just canvas. But you do hear the sound of rattling.
Ooh.
You can make a perception check as you're sort of near the paintings.
11.
It's enough to peek over maybe where the lich painting is. You can see the painting is shaking against the wall.
Is in he's trying to break 3, or is in I'm setting him free by...
You're not quite sure whether it's you doing it or whether it's the lich doing it. The lich is still turned away, facing away from you, and it's kind of got like its arms just kind of trying to hold on to something, but it's just there like that.
Painting 4.
Somebody at the door.
Just somebody at painting 4.
You hear the lich speak.
Leave us be.
Another roll.
Why? You are telling us nothing.
The painting is now just savagely just rocking against the wall, and slowly it edges off this little nail that comes out the wall where it hangs, and it falls to the floor.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to break.
Oh, shit.
As we'll be back in about sort of 10 minutes ish to get a drink and whatsoever. So please join us after that. Back in a moment.
Wonderful.
Hello, all.
Look at you.
We're back from break.
Break.
I think I'm the only one that went anywhere.
Cat.
There's
Meow.
Cats will
a very cute cat.
bring us through.
And my cat.
How are we all feeling about where we are at the minute?
Stressed.
I'm about to piss off a lich, so
Yeah.
I mean, fountain.
My clothes are ruined.
meta-wise, GM Ian is
What
like,
we feel.
we're level 3.
Yeah.
We've been forced into this situation. I don't think we're fighting a lich. I think we're about to fight a painting with some spells. I think we're about to. I think meta-wise, we're about to face a low-level caster. It's going to cause some issues, but it was great playing with Marcus. He was fun. He was fine, but he's going to get in there.
Yeah, ready to get back to the original bodies now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So to give a small little rundown, just in case anyone's joining. after break.
Run down.
Rundown.
Wow.
You're wow.
Purposely done that.
Wow.
Wow. Don't do that again.
Was that the uncoolest thing?
It was
you've
probably the
ever done?
uncoolest thing I've ever done.
And we play D&D.
Shoot me, please, now.
I'm sorry.
It's fine. I'm just deeply hurt. So,
Oh, the proper Siobhan burn, wasn't it? It was like, is that like the most uncool thing you've ever done?
it's like being in school again.
Okay, ouch. We'll talk after class.
So,
Run down. Run down.
thank you. I'll let you do it. The party made their way through some flesh corridors that seemed never-ending. A couple of times experiencing what going through the wall feels like and where that comes out. And eventually, after navigating your way through, you found a little small painting that was on the wall, but it was kind of illusionary. But you go through the wall where this painting was, and it all led you to another corridor with a door at the end. This marble, pristine door, and you made your way through into this darkened granite hall. Thank you for our interpreter over there.
For all you deaf people out there, and basically,
Right.
Where
they couldn't hear me say that, so it's all right.
where in the middle is a fountain of blood, and there are three.
God, Ian.
There are three elementals that are kind of like circling and patrolling this fountain. And on the right, there are 5 paintings, each depicting seemingly sort of random scenes. The first one being a silhouette of Kanrath in the darkened sky, and one that was just simply a blank canvas with blood splattered upon it. And on the left side was 10 sort of marble statues that were indistinguishable from each other, wielding various weapons in different poses, but nothing else to really mark them as anything in particular. I believe marionette, but in Kitty's body.
Mitty.
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 Attempted to taste the blood of the fountain, but was stopped by one of these elementals, who grabbed their wrist to stop them from doing so. They have since pushed their boundaries with the fountain by dipping themselves basically entirely in
And
it.
with Kitty. Kitchenette. Kitchenette, sorry.
Farkas has played about with the paintings by touching them, seeing if they're portals of such.
We're fucking children. We can't go for 2 minutes.
No. But this lich in the 5th painting has been sort of periodically sort of speaking, but is now vibrating against the wall. It's kind of shaking, and rather violently at this point, and it comes off the nail that's been put on the wall to hang this painting up, and it falls to the ground, which is where we left off. Can someone please roll me a D100?
Ooh. Yeah, I'll do it.
And just let me know the result.
If you're gonna let me down gently. 1.
84.
I'm not a witch.
You're not a witch.
Not a witch.
Okay.
I never saw so much as I do on this fucking stream.
So
I like the laugh that you've got. You like really go into your throat. You go, ah! That's the best thing ever. It's so good.
the painting of this lich falls and lands very much on the bottom edge of this frame, and it falls on its front. And on the back you can see it's blank, just like the rest of them. And you hear
excuse me. I know I was a little short earlier, but could you?
I've had a fall.
a fall.
Oh, 811 72419 1119 725 3. I've had a fall.
Oh my god. IT crowd joke for you all there, if you know what the that is. Oh my god.
So, how did it fall?
So, it falls on its front, and you hear the lich once more simply say, "Finally."
Oh my god.
And nothing seems to happen. And then at the very rear wall, which previously had nothing on it, maybe for one moment you all are not sort of looking in that direction, but you then happen to sort of notice it. Another door has appeared. Again, another sort of marble door. Actually, no, sorry. This one's made out of pure bone.
Ooh. A bone door.
Pure bone.
It's not made out of multiple bones. It's clearly one
big bone.
shell of a bone, but it's in two parts. And you can. There's a slight gap underneath this door.
Oh, is there?
There is. Where there is. We fucking lost it. Giggly tonight, you know, we're giggly fucking all the time. Like, every episode is like this for Bloodpunk.
Jack told us this was going to be a serious campaign.
I did.
We went, bet.
That,
Right, you got one of those. We're going to fuck you over, mate.
yeah.
So there's a gap under the door.
There's a slight
Jack.
gap under this huge bone door. Things I feed it as well. I think I kind of repeat things. And it just makes it worse.
Literally just in the comments, 4 big bone. Oh, he's dead.
Oh my god. I don't know, where the fuck am I? Under this...
Come on, Jack, show us your bone.
In this little gap, you can see there's a dim sunlight poking through.
Well, I don't think we can go in there.
It's not for you, Jen.
We'll stay here and guard the internet.
God.
It is quite dim sunlight. It's a little bit, but not like blazing. It's
Dim well.
Oh,
I've heard stories.
I hope to never know the truth.
Yeah, what do you do? The lich has made no more sound.
I guess we pick up the painting.
Yeah.
It is empty of a lich.
Oh shit. Standing up like a child in a paddling pool, covered head to toe in blood.
We probably need to let the Grand Advisor know about this one. Whoops!
Do you think we should try that new door?
Oh, well, we might as well drink from the fountain first. Probably not.
You hear another low grunt coming from one of the elementals.
Drink from the fountain.
Not a nice one.
All right. Easy now.
What if we were to accept our fate and drink from the fountain?
Your connection's still going. I think
Yes.
after you said accept your fate, you hear that same phrase in your head again. But just Mitty.
Does the
So-
town...
Sorry,
town?
Mitty or kitchenette?
Oh, sorry. Okay, now it's so confusing.
You did it.
Yeah, you did this. You read that book and you did this.
You made the names up. Okay.
We've been clear out who we are.
Kitchenette. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it just repeats the exact same thing.
Yeah, you hear exactly the first time you heard that phrase.
Yeah.
You hear that again.
So it's the exact same tone
Yes.
of voice.
Accept your fates.
I mean, the voice just told me to accept all fates again. I feel like that's a confirmation. So I mean, Mitty.
Well, it is your body.
I mean, at this stage, look at what you've done to me. So you might as well carry
I
on.
apologise, I did get rather carried away. I accept my fate. A drink from the fountain.
Just imagine a salute.
Can you make me a dexterity saving throw, please?
She was the best of us. She's gone now. Unless the fate's just the lich. Chuck wasn't prepared for a combat tonight, but here we go.
18.
18. Is that a total, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm a slippery little bitch. Call that blood.
Despite how fast you might be going to try and get some, you're still stopped by an
Oh.
elemental.
Oh wow.
Not the same one that stopped you earlier, but another nearby one just reaches in.
Okay, that's a no
Stops you.
then.
But not violently.
Well, I suppose if this is found as blood, we would become one of his children if we were to drink from it, and they might not want that.
That's true.
However, we did apparently set a big bad free, and that could be as accepting our fate. We should probably...
Go for the door.
I mean, lights could be a fate.
Oh, God!
Accepting the lights.
Oh... Mia, after you.
It's your body.
Wait!
I mean, so Marionette's body.
It'd be
You're
fine.
fine. Yeah. Shall Kitchenette go first? Kind of blocking it, like. If,
Yeah, I mean,
you wanna
Mia
go like
is
a
making his
line.
way.
Yeah, I mean, at this
oh,
point...
he's
was
going
well.
anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, it's,
He's a big
it's his
boy.
fit his body. I don't give a fuck. He's like, you know.
I didn't think about that.
And he places his hands on this bone door and pushes it to its side, and it's unlocked. And the sunlight beams through, but it's like misty almost. And on the other side is kind of just fog. That's all you kind of see immediately is kind of this thick fog, and there's some sunlight rays coming through, but nothing major.
It's like pea soup in there.
Nothing happened. Do we go through?
Right you are, Harry.
Well, at this stage.
What have we got to lose?
Mia goes through.
I will follow.
I'll squelch out of the fountain and.
Oh no, somebody shit my pants. Doing that.
And
Yeah, Kitchenette is-
and you all make your way through, and it's this fog is so viscous that you feel like you almost have to like swim through it and just part the fog away.
It's like a fountain of fog.
And you make your way through. And as you make your way through this thick fog, you see a bright light that blinds you for a split second. When you slowly regain your vision, you find yourself in a familiar hall, the one in which the Grand Advisor first welcomed you. However, the hall looks different. You first notice that there are no decorations on the walls. and that the room is illuminated by oil lanterns instead of angst lamps. A second later, you sense an overwhelming aura of authority, followed by an immediate desire to talk about city planning and how to reshape the city. When you look around, you see 7 other people beside you, including the founder, his wife, and the High Paladin of the city. The founder stands tall with his pale skin, white hair, amber eyes ablaze with concern, and elegant grey and red clothes. His face resembles each one of you, which both terrifies and amuses you somewhat. He turns to his wife and speaks.
Acting.
He turns to his wife and speaks softly. What are your desires for our humble haven, dear wife? The elven woman, wearing similar clothes to the founder, looking absolutely beautiful with her braided brown hair.
I'm totally serious. I'm sorry.
Do you want me to fucking stop, mate?
No. Continue, sir.
Right you are. With her braided brown hair that flows down to her collarbones, a golden tiara decorated with ruby gems on her head, and her extraordinarily adorable smile says, I wish for the city to be a shelter for the weak, though I am, of course, eager to hear from our sages too. Then the High Paladin looks at you, granting you the right to speak. You've seen this man in paintings before. It's the Crimson King. The second ruler and the founder's first child. He and the founder's wife do not seem to possess the pale skin of vampires. They are yet to be turned. The Queen starts to ask you some questions about the city, and is seemingly interested in your insight about how to reshape Kanrath. Clearly this conversation you're having with the Queen is taking place in the past, before Kanrath was fully built, and before the founder had turned anyone. And she looks to you for ideas about city planning, and just wants to know about your insights and what you think about the founder's plans for Kanrath.
Definitely have a big fountain.
Well, I believe we have a fountain in the courtyard already.
Oh no, it's real.
But, I mean, fountains are always a good central piece for perhaps the noble districts, perhaps, and would perhaps provide water for the needy. I think that's a good idea.
We need to collect trash in one place near the docks and just make sure that it's kept in one area, as well as, like, just to really make sure that we keep the poorer people there. We should have all latrines and toilets and sewers flow in that area so it really smells like urine and poor people.
I must say, that's awfully specific.
But it keeps it away from the noble districts.
Yes, but
And vampires, really strong sense of smell.
would not be very good for the more needy people of Kanrath.
Do you care about those?
I wish for all to be cared for. And this is the Queen talking. The founder is kind of sort of keeping quiet. And the High Paladin is clearly looking stern, but not saying anything at the moment.
Just to double check, you say the High Paladin is the firstborn. It's the one that becomes...
Is what you would know as the Crimson King.
Right. Okay, because there are conflicting...
Not a vampire this time.
No, because there are
There's no
conflicting
pale
emotions
skin,
happening
no.
now for fear.
Places of education would be good. Find tutelage for all the young citizens.
Good alleyways for traversal. And brutal murders.
I think the Queen sort of turns to the founder. Husband, I think they're right about the education. I think we need to certainly improve than what we have already. We only have simple schools for the little ones, and I think they need some further education. If we're truly to be the great city that you plan it for it to be, husband, I think that's a good idea.
In this, are we just like, it's like we're just acting like this and we're just like, these things are just falling out of our mouths and we can't control it? Or is there like, because fear at this moment is like, that's the Crimson King, like to the High Paladin. He is like they are mortal. And he's like in this moment. So this like triggered anxiety and adrenaline for his prey is heightened, yet is having a conversation about the inner workings of building up the city. Which bit is overriding?
You're definitely getting the overwhelming urge to talk about city planning and all that sorts of things.
Bloody thoughts.
You still got that feeling as fear.
Yeah.
You are still you.
It's like you're trapped.
And you look at your own person. You are who you are. And at this point, you are who you originally were.
God, the migraine's back.
Kitty is Kitty. Marionette is Marionette. You are in your own bodies, but it doesn't seem to...
I don't remember having a breakfast bar.
It doesn't seem to change the opinions of those around you. They clearly think of you as sages. But yeah, you still have that background feeling of like being fear and seeing the Crimson King in front of you and the founder.
And if we were to go say that and just like be like, what is this? Like, why are we playing the parts of the past when we can just say, or like, can we actively like try and like openly be like, what are we doing here? Like, why are we? What are we being shown something? Are we interacting with something? If I try and say that out loud,
yeah, you feel like you're being halted. It's like having a nightmare when you try and say something and you can't.
Yeah, okay,
like
cool.
if you want to throw a punch, but you just can't.
It's really,
It's a violent
so we
dream,
can't
Jack.
move at all. We are just like,
You can move.
or we're moving as they would
but
move.
the
like,
things that you would like to do that go against the grain
got you.
don't work.
Yeah, okay.
As much as you'd like it to.
And what about the nobles of these districts? Are we to have more vampires? Are we to see how are we going to keep the citizens from not overthrowing a vampire lord?
Well, I believe my husband is very powerful, and correct me if I'm wrong, husband, but I don't believe I could see anyone trying to overthrow you. After all, they revere you. The founder kind of just nods his head in agreement.
Like we can't even like make a different expression either. Like we can't even kind of like make wide eyes and like look at the paladin.
I think you can kind of do that.
Yeah.
Like, but I think only you guys would notice what you're doing with each other.
I think Kitty tries anyway. It's just like, trying to like catch the eye of like the Queen and like look like the Crimson King.
But the Queen certainly seems aware that her husband is a vampire. That much is at least obvious.
And what of those that would oppose you? Surely we need some kind of infrastructure for security, for prisons, for justice.
Believe me, those who would oppose me have already been dealt with. And that is the founder talking.
Yeah. And this is before the blood rain, isn't it?
You would imagine so, because Kanrath is not built properly at this point. But the Queen would probably speak up what you say about prisons and justice, that kind of thing. There's always bound to be those who want to wrong others in search of greed. Unfortunately, that is the way of anyone, I suppose, and it doesn't matter what race or species you are. That unfortunately is just something that happens. We will
Trade conflict.
certainly make sure that systems are put in place for those that commit crimes.
And how would we deal with those that would oppose the city? Maybe those from Cyherested, let's say.
Well,
Rebels.
I think that's probably a matter for the High Paladin. And she sort of looks towards the High Paladin. Yes, it is my job to deal with such matters. We currently don't have anything of that nature. But if something should arise, my armies will do something.
What about a place to cast a spell? We need somewhere
That's
to...
exactly what I was thinking. Somewhere really open.
somewhere that you could just
large,
really
somewhere
up a
really
ninth level.
central. Something, you know, almost one would say world-altering.
Where can people revere you in a moment of great need?
I suppose anywhere that has a large open space. I mean, we had one just outside of this castle here. It's as good a place as any to make a speech or speak to the crowds of what hopefully will be soon Kanrath.
And if you were to trap a lich in a painting, in an illusion,
How would you do it?
That doesn't come out. You're
No.
forced
Yeah,
back
yeah.
from that. Yeah.
trying to word it as like how the
Yeah.
fuck.
If this is the past, is what we're doing here possible to influence our present?
I don't think so, because we can't actively go against the grain. It's like we're going
A
with
convenient tunnel from exactly underneath the room that we're currently in, all the way out to Cyherested. and
where
the Rock
if you need to
Mountains.
make an escape, sire, very quickly to then rain justice over the city, how would you go about this?
There are many exits to this place.
Like if you were to have a tunnel from your throne to the mountains or to
I
Cyherested,
would not bother with such manual labor.
how would you? Teleport?
I have such powers.
Good to know. Swarm of bats?
If I so wish.
A tuk-tuk?
Not sure what that is.
It's one of those like things like in the wheels, it's like a
Yeah.
chariot and you pull it along.
What time you want to?
The
Do we mean to work with Cyherested in building the city, or are we our own entity?
I don't currently seek the help of anyone else but our own. We need to be independent in what we do when we make and build Kanrath. Seeking help from others would only mean that we owe them something.
And what are you... Why our opinions? What do you hope to gain if you've already got things in place and plans? What knowledge can we give to you? Ask us directly. If there's something you need contractual information on, we will happily provide it.
Well, if the plans are not set, that is exactly why we're here.
Can we do any kind of investigation to see if this is actually going to affect anything, or is it just kind of like, if we've done enough investigation rolls about this area that we don't need to do that?
You can make an Arcana check, purely because changing things in your present from the past is a very
12.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
You don't know, unfortunately. I mean, everything seems real in the place you're in, apart from the few things that kind of stand out to you.
Yeah.
You are still you, but you know you didn't exist at that time. The founder's face is kind of morphing between your faces. No one seems to really care that you are who you are, or appear to be, but they respect your opinion and your advice. And the Queen will probably pipe up. Well, husband, I think those are good foundations to work on. A good education, perhaps some justice systems for if there are any gangs to form or those who would wish harm upon others. I think those are good ideas. And the fountains, of course. I think free water to our citizens would only be a boon.
Do we intend to have more vampiric citizens, or is it just the founder? Because then we need a source of blood.
I think the Queen would kind of like almost side-eye to the founder. And the founder would say, I don't plan to do anything like that. Though, I can see the benefits. who knows what lays in the future? But for now, that is not my concern. My concern is to build Kanrath for what it should be and what it represents.
What? Just to be clear, sir, to make sure that we are on the same page, what is your vision of Kanrath? What do you want it to be?
A beacon of power and station. To show Tolia that we are the ones who deserve to build a haven for those that deserving. It's at this point that everything's kind of dim and vision light starts to blacken as this scene before you seems to end. And then a new one appears in front of you.
Here we go again.
The moon is high, and bats are dancing in the airway above you. A 300-foot long aisle lies before the two thrones, one big and one small, placed at the entrance of the elegant castle. You can see the resemblance to the royal castle, though it is much more pared-down version, with no working windows, that kind of thing. The High Paladin is standing between the two thrones currently. There are long tables placed on either side of the aisle, and people are drinking and celebrating what's to come. You are knights, preparing for jewels that will be made to honor the founder's coronation. In Tolian culture, shedding blood during a coronation is believed to bring good luck to the ruler. Before long, the people are informed that the founder and the queen are coming down the aisle with the beating of a loud drum. The drum is soon accompanied by the sound of violins played by the bards, as the rulers of the new city are slowly walking towards their thrones. The founder sits on his throne first, while the queen takes an elegant crown embellished with Kanrathian silver decorations, and places it on the founder's head. They stand together, looking at the crowd. The founder starts to preach, loud and proud. My cherished subjects, know that I believe it is an honor to be your rightful protector, ruler, and lifelong friend. There is much to be said and done, but today we shall celebrate what was, what is, and what will be. Drink, friends. We'll make Kanrath a city worthy of gods. The uproarious sound of cheers fill the air, and the celebration begins. You are all, as knights, you're wearing quite heavy-plated armor. And again, you are still you, but you were in... I mean, Marionette's probably the strangest thing, because you are made of metal, but you're wearing
metal
an
on
extra
metal.
layer of metal.
Heavy.
I'm not meant to be able to do this.
But all four of you are made... well, not made to, but you feel compelled to duel these other knights in front of you. You're not fighting each other, but you're certainly fighting these other knights. You're not sure where they sort of derive from, who they are. One of them wields a great sword, one of them has a shield and a mace. It's very varied. And you begin clashing steel upon steel, trying to be the victor in your one-on-one duels. Eventually, you can hear, as all these four duels is kind of happening at the same time, you can hear some blood being drawn from the side, whereas someone on the other side scores a hit, and maybe you yourself score a hit on someone else. So the sounds of clashing steel and the spewing of blood from wounds starts to mix with each other. It's a gracious battle, but also a ruthless one. And eventually, you four win your respective duels, and you're covered in blood as you've slaughtered your opponent, whether you've taken limbs off, whether you've sheared through them with your weapon. You now stand in a line before the founder in front of his throne. And he stands up from his throne and he shakes all of your hands. And he says to you, I am truly glad to meet with you in person. We're going to be spending a lot more time together. Looking at every single one of you, and as he makes eye contact with each of you, his face turns to yours, and it changes to your face. Things change once more. Wine, appetizers, masks, dance, and lies. These are all musts for a great hall. You're standing in a ballroom decorated with extravagant paintings and lavish veils that cover the windows. Oil lanterns illuminate the ballroom instead of the Anx lamps that you are used to. You're all having conversations, mingling with the other noble people of the hall. You yourself are from noble families of random ilk, no particular name. A bard is playing a joyful tune with his violin in the corner and singing about a just and merciful king, almost like a wish for the future. Visiting the castle, you are here to congratulate the founder on his coronation, to ask him what the future holds for everyone. There are countless nobles talking to each other in this space. Their plotting concealed with dazzling smiles and dull eyes. Some of them greet you and wish to hear ideas about the new king. And you can all make me a perception check.
I don't like where this is going, Jack.
Why you do this, Jake?
Why are these?
Can I do this with advantage?
No.
Because that's a lovely, wonderful 5.
I'm back in Kitty's body right now, so I can roll again, right?
Sure. Yeah.
First time I've remembered.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Look.
Oh my.
15.
I got a natural 20 for a wonderful 27.
Whoa.
Then, alrighty.
Marcus.
I've just rolled. It was a 2 for him, so
Oh,
No.
Marcus.
he ain't seen nothing.
Missed it.
So we'll start with Kitty, in whatever noble form you might be in. You find a character who seems to be a priest of some sort. Somehow you inherently know this person's name. This is Master Ziriel, so Zyriel. And they are a tiefling with red skin and these sort of deep-set, thick horns that can really curl back across the scalp and curl into a small little tick at the back.
3. 5.
He is also one of the head historians of the city. He looks like a stereotypical scholar with his brown robes and books hanging off his belt. You have conversations with him and you sort of maybe get to know him a little bit. And he believes that vampirism is a curse and abhors the fact that their new leader is a creature of the night.
Pretty hysterical.
And it's also like, as you start to kind of approach this person, you also overhear his whisperings to another noble lady, sort of far away from the main goings on. And you can hear these ideas come to life as he's whispering to this lady.
2 in the morning.
You can hear him sort of talk about the founder being a vampire and the stain that will have on the mortal community. You approach him, you have a little conversation with him, but you approach it as you hear some of the things that he had been saying, and he lies to you. He says, I think the vampires have such a wonderful thing to bring to they are very powerful, and perhaps if he is to turn anyone else, they would also get power. I mean, what is not to love there? But you clearly know that this person is lying just from your approach. That's what you get from this Master Ziriel. Marionette, you find a very elderly dwarf, female dwarf, and you know her name to be Lorenda Whitestone. And she's the head of the Whitestone family. You'd know this. Somehow, you're not sure how you know, but you know. She has this braided grey hair that hints at her old age, even though her face looks as young as she could be. But you know her to be in her late 200s. She's currently talking to her very own butler, mainly about how to convince or deceive the newly appointed king or the founder to turn her into a vampire, as she would love to live forever. If you sort of approach this Lorenda, and you have again some conversations with her, but she does not hide her wishes from you.
Okay.
She very openly says to you that she would love to live forever. She is excited about the prospect of not having to age anymore and to be youthful forever.
Are we still at the point where the founder is the only vampire, or do we not know that at this point?
Yes, I think everyone is unturned at the moment. I think, unfortunately, Fear and Marcus don't really get to eavesdrop on anything. They kind of just mingling about, maybe having some drinks with some of the nobles. We don't hear anything major.
I think that's for Fear,
Yeah.
RP wise, that's because there's conflict in him now. He is like conflict. Like he is now like obviously like he's going with the flow. He's like trying to fight against it because he's looking for Cain. He's like trying to, but the body's then turning and having these conversations. But like his subconscious is like, where is he? He must be here. And yeah, so that's the conflict internal.
Sure.
That's the name of my autobiography. Conflict internal.
Conflict internal.
Marionette, you find a second person of note.
A second location.
This is a halfling. Their name is Xyhan Farsight. Xyhan is spelled Xyhan.
Tau.
And again, is also the head of the Farsight family. It's quite a young, handsome halfling with symmetrical facial features and a very well-kempt hair, wearing very elegant garments that complement his pleasing appearance, as he always does. He is currently talking to Dolmen Palehide, who looks a fair bit younger than you know him to be, but not like a youngin or anything. He's just a little bit younger in the face.
Younger.
But you overhear Xyhan telling Dolmen that he wishes to destroy the Nimblewood family and get even closer to the Queen.
Snake.
You sort of approaching this from afar. You don't make conversation with them, but you notice this conversation happening. You hear it, but you also then see Dolmen retreating from the conversation, going elsewhere. And Xyhan continues getting another drink perhaps and talking with other nobles. But you can see Dolmen is making way to the founder himself. You can see that he is whispering into the founder's ear about something. From this distance, you certainly can't hear what he's saying. I think everyone here would also notice one more person. Elria Nimblewood, who's also the head of her family. Very just stunningly beautiful elf lady with long wavy red hair and green eyes and dark green clothes that bring out the green in her gaze. She is a close friend to the Queen. She is currently talking to the Queen and the founder, congratulating them on their coronation, wishing them good luck and prosperity throughout their reign. You start to see the following events sort of take place. You see Dolmen informing the founder about Xyhan's intentions. You then, as you're sort of scoping out what's going on, you see Xyhan retreat to the lavatories, holding a chalice of wine, And maybe 5 minutes later he comes out, and he goes to grab another chalice of wine, and starts to approach Illyria Nimblewood with 2 chalices in his hands and a charming smile upon his face. He offers Illyria one of these chalices of wine. What do you do?
Do we all see this?
Yeah, I think as the sort of night has kind of progressed, you do see, even though I think Marionette's the main one to sort of see things from start to finish here, I think you're all kind of in on it now, as you sort of see Dolmen sort of talk to the founder, whispering in his ear. I mean, seeing Zyhan come out of the lavatories with a chalice of wine and not putting it down beforehand, that kind of thing. Everything seems a little bit like what's going on here.
Yeah, I mean, I was working out whether or not we shout poison across the room, or if it's like. I don't think Fear is there yet. I think he's.
Because we're kind of in, I guess we're like kind of in avatars of like just random ass.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
but would we still have any of our
Kind of said chance to.
powers, or are we kind of just?
You feel things being muted.
Okay.
You don't have your equipment on you.
Good.
You are very much just consciousness in this person's body. As in, like any of these conversations you've been having with the nobles have just been kind of flowing out of your mouth without really thinking about it.
But in this moment,
Yes.
is there any? Would I be able to make like a history check to see if like the name Nimblewood brings up anything like historical, like that maybe I'd know, or like kind of
make a history check for me.
are they cool? Are they not cool?
Can I make an insight check on the person with the 2 glasses to see if this is like malice intent?
Yep.
And is this with my?
Yeah, you'll do it as you.
Yeah, I think I'll do that as well, just to kind of see if there's like any.
Nah, Fear is out there.
25 history.
25 history.
Insight. That's just a 9 for me, so.
Okay.
It's a 3 for me, by the way. Just
Okay, yeah, fair
so
enough.
Fear is just not there.
It's a 3 for me.
I think Marionette's certainly heard of the Nimblewood family. You've not heard any stories that pertain to maybe this situation that's going on.
Okay.
You know that they were once a prevalent noble family, very well respected, quite high up in the noble sort of rankings, as it were. But other than that, you don't really know too much, because this is quite a fair few years ago. Yeah. So Zyhan is currently approaching Illyria with a sort of smile on his face, holding a chalice, sort of going out to give one of these to Illyria. You do feel like in this moment you're not quite restricted of what you can do in this moment. You don't have like any of your like innate spells or your equipment, but you feel like you've got some freedom to do something here.
I think Marionette's sense of morality is going to win out, particularly after she tried so hard to save that poor boy and watching him walk into traffic.
Yeah.
I think that I think she's going to stride across and sort of just put a hand on Zyhan's shoulder to sort of pause him in his tracks, hopefully.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you start to kind of approach from the rear, and you put a shoulder on his hand.
Hey!
Fuck's sake.
Too close for you.
You place a
Where's the book?
hand on his shoulder. You kind of stop him from moving forward.
Yeah.
What do you do in that moment as you sort of just halt where he moves?
I think I'll go, now, I don't believe you washed your hands after you came out of that bathroom. Perhaps such a flagrant contamination would be something of a social and physical suicide.
What are you trying to suggest here? Who are you, anyway? Who do you think you are?
Who is she?
Basically. Yes, you are a noble, but...
Yeah.
Illyria, do you buy this?
I think Kitty
Silly.
Silly.
I think Kitty sees Marionette kind of
Flailing.
flailing slightly, and kind of stumbles over, is like, "Oh, is that for me?" And kind of like pretending to be drunk.
Okay,
And goes as like tries, I
Just
guess, to grab that.
Yeah.
And then maybe pretend to like just spill it. It's like,
Okay, gotcha. Okay. Okay, you can make me a dexterity check, just to see
Just
like.
pretend to be drunk. Yes, very good.
You don't have to roll too hard.
Do you want to spill it?
Oh, that is a lovely natural 20.
Yeah, I think you approach kind of unseen as Zyhan is quite clearly just taken aback from this person accusing him of not washing his hands and contaminating.
You dirty pig.
And talking of social suicide, it's quite a threat almost. But you sort of approach from the side and you just stumble and grab this chalice from his hand, and he doesn't react quick enough by any means. And you just sort of stumble and like tip it all out.
Could I know this might be pushing it, but could I tip, like, make sure there's like
a tiny bit there.
a little bit left?
Yeah, I'd say you can. With a natural 20.
Oh, no,
100%.
yeah.
What on earth do you think you're doing? Here I am, Lyra, trying to give you a lovely chalice of wine. This drunken bastard tips out your wine.
Succulent drunken bastard.
I'm awfully sorry, Lyra. Let me pour you another. And sort of go to maybe a nearby table that has some wine on it.
Check it.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Drink it.
Can I check it without drinking it, or?
Yeah, I mean, you can make me.
Got any spells and shit?
Can't use any spells.
Can't use it.
So
Yeah, can't
I'd
use
say.
Drink it and make a scene.
Or can I just do like a little like
nature?
Yeah, there's one or two. You decide. Medicine or nature.
Okay, I don't have. It's going to be nature because I have a
that's
better.
fine. I think that fits a bit more anyway, but yeah.
15.
I think you've been drinking a bit of wine throughout this night,
Yes.
whether it be in this weird sort of vision or for real, but you certainly have the senses of what the wine tasted like. And you sort of maybe do that sort of thing with connoisseur. Yes. It very much smells more sour than you have been having with the wine. It's almost sour to the point where it's just not nice.
Okay. I'm going to turn to. Brain is not good with names. Illyria. I say, I'm going to not be drunk anymore. Darling, this is not wine. I do not know what it is, but I would not have a drink from that man.
May I see?
You're welcome.
And she would reach towards the chalice.
Yeah, I guess I will keep a hold of it. I guess just for your own safety.
And she'll kind of do the whole connoisseur thing as well. But she...
This is shit.
This is urine!
It's because of this shit, Austin. Righto, Basil.
She takes a few moments and notices the sounds, and she kind of scrunches up her face a little bit. It smells off. That's certainly not what we've been drinking recently. You've been selling me, giving me bad wine, Zyhan. And he sort of responds, I wouldn't dare, Illyria. How dare you? You start to notice the founder has stood up and approaching as Zyhan is kind of making a scene. And he puts his hand on his shoulder. And the founder is, quite a lot taller, as Zyhan is a halfling, but just kind of leans down. Zyhan, outside, please.
Noticed her.
Everyone, please continue. And Illyria sort of thanks you for getting in the way of Zyhan's advances, whatever they might be.
Girl code.
Quite.
Cover your drinks.
Yeah.
And she offers you another glass of wine, a fresh one. And you start sort of maybe just talking, but everything starts to blur at this point, and your vision again starts to darken. And you hear another voice The founder once again speaks to you, but this time it's only in your mind. Ambition can be an effective weapon for those who know how to use it. Together, I think we'll achieve much.
Ooh.
So that's this point that your vision comes back and you are again in another corridor, but this time made out of darkened stone, and immediately in front of you is an archway, and you see quite an expansive room in the middle, in front of you, and in the middle is a singular dark throne that's facing away from you. You can see the back of it. You make your way into the room, and you are now yourselves. You have your equipment. You feel like you have the use of your body however you wish to use it. On the other side of the room is another archway, but this time you can't see anything beyond this archway. It is utter darkness. Nothing beyond it. But it's almost eerie when you look into it. It doesn't look like it's just been painted black or anything. It's like the void. And as you sort of go around the center, you can see that there is a skeleton sitting upon this throne with a chalice in his hand, and maybe it's like some blood stain around the jaw of this skeleton. And in front of him is a stone altar, and on it a bone crown with some Kanrathian silver decorations upon it. The same sort of crown that you saw just now in your previous vision. What do you do?
Does this look like the founder, his throne, the chalice from that painting, and his crown?
Yes.
Look how far he got with ambition. Look at you now, old man. Look at you. Fear will pick up the crown and place it on his head. Quite the lofty ambition, isn't it? To replace the founder's murderer with a whole different person. With leopards. Oh, you... Always one step ahead, isn't he? Always one. And I'm just like staring down at this.
So you put this crown on, and after a few moments, the skeleton starts to move, and it kind of creaks as the bones kind of rub together. Spooky, scary skeletons, indeed. And still remains sat, but holds this chalice out in this bony, thin hand, and he brings it to his mouth. And
he's going to put his hand over the cup before it gets there.
I mean, you can by all means do that, but
it's going to take a little dip of the thing and just smell it.
There's nothing in the chalice right now.
Okay. So there's nothing in there. So that's what I was worried about. Does it smell sour like the cup before? Okay.
Did you say there was like some blood on his mouth?
Yeah, you can see there's like some blood stains on the bone.
Does he have like no vampire fangs?
You can certainly see. Vampire
Just
fangs.
little cheap.
And they're not small.
They're
big
teethies.
They're too big for his head. He's more tooth than skull.
He's more tooth than man.
That's what killed him. He's in the altar like... He's like a saber-toothed tiger.
You
Look
put
at
your
you
go to
now.
put your hand over, but it doesn't stop. What happens next? He starts to vomit blood into this chalice, and it's just coming from some unknown place. You can't see the source of it, but it is gushing, and it is.
Really?
It's filling the chalice, and it's like going all over your hand as you try and stop it, but it just continues anyway. But this blood still, it just spurts. It's just going and going and going.
Is it
And he
thick and
holds-
velvety?
Yes.
Oh, like a
Can I take the
fountain.
chalice?
And the skeleton will offer it to the nearest person.
He will
Oh,
just
God.
go for it. Yep.
You
And the fountain.
down the blood.
It's like pouring down, and like on the outside, the crown is still on his head. The hat is like already like fallen off and it's like replaced with the crown, and like the glasses reflects whatever light is there, and he just begins to glug.
I think you hear the voice of the founder. Drink. And he's still vomiting at this point. This blood. There's no other way to put it. It's just like projectile blood at this point. But
That's a heavy flow.
he seems very satisfied with your actions, and he'll take the chalice back and fill it up once more with this blood, and hand it out to the next nearest person. And do you think Marcus would go for it?
Oh yeah, Marcus
Yeah,
be
yeah.
all about that shit.
He
Locum says it's good for you.
Locum says I must drink more sunny delight.
How much do you think Marcus would drink of it? Because you downed it all. the whole
Yeah,
chalice.
he would be a lot more civilized with it.
Yeah.
He's not a mad bastard.
You maybe have half of it, a few gulps perhaps. But the founder again seems very satisfied, and it says, "Drink again." And holds the chalice out to fill it up with blood, and you can see now the blood is coming at a volume that is
Obscene.
egregious.
That's a good.
Egregious. Oh, Jack. Stop it.
But you can see the floor of this room is starting to fill with blood. The amount of blood that's coming out of this skeleton. But he hands out the chalice full of blood once more.
Well, I feel like we'll have to drink it anyway, looking at the state of this place. Fear, how do you feel?
Glorious.
You certainly feel relieved, and like a sense of power flows through you.
I'm going to pick up my hat and put it on him. So he's wearing the Atlanta hat.
Jaunty.
You can all make a perception check in this moment.
We just pissed off the king. Fucked. Nope. Fear is just having a whale of a time.
He just going with the flow.
Yeah, he can't
Literally.
fight back.
13.
Can't fight back.
Smutty little 20.
Ooh.
What did Marcus get?
13.
14, Marcus. You see that this arch that I said about the void.
Mm-hmm.
Two people have drunk blood from the chalice now, and the arch has slowly started to fill with this thin layer of blood. But it also looks like almost illusionary. But it's like holding this form and it's filling the archway, but it's not quite complete. The chalice held out.
I think Kitty will just take it and just down it. Like bottoms up, I guess.
Yeah, and as you may be like staring at the skeleton as you do so, you can almost see like if a skeleton could smile, it is.
Do you need a hand?
Get off me.
How much do you drink?
I think just a full,
Just a
full
whole.
chalice. Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's like
mhm.
yeah, it's not massive, but you know, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Fishbowl with a slice of cucumber.
Like a proper shot, like a big shot glass. Like,
Down in one.
down it. Load it for
Yeah, you drink the blood, and you also feel this huge sense of relief, and you feel like any hunger that you had has been utterly satiated. In this moment, you're like, I've had my fill of blood. I don't need anything else for a while. That kind of thing. But you can see the archway start to fill out a little bit more. Chalice is once again filled up, and you can see the blood is starting to rise fairly quickly now. It is, I'd say, at the back of your knees at this point.
So, Marinette will step forward, and I went back and reread a thing because I need to have an MOT once a year, but I do need to do an oil change once a week. So,
Yeah.
so Marinette will kind of unscrew a kind of petrol cap. I got no lefty loosey. And I think pull out a sort of like
Siphon.
what else would it get in there?
Yeah,
like a siphon, and just put it
In a
the
very
cup.
practiced way, you can see it just goes.
Put it through and
And you can feel it kind of like mix all the blood that's already there. And because you're the only one that can see your own blood, you can see it all mixing, and it's all turning to this velvety, dark blood. And you also get the feeling that you are warm. It's quite hard for an automaton to feel warm.
Yeah.
But yeah, you certainly feel this relief. Not that you have a blood hunger, but yet something has been satiated within you. It's at this point that the archway is now full with this ethereal blood almost. And it kind of like flashes. You have the sense that you feel like you can walk through this. And at this point, the blood is now arse high.
Such a way with words.
It's literally the first thing came to mind. I was like, how do I supposed to say that?
Bottom,
Up to your lower
bottom of the
back?
cheek or
It's
top
got to
of
be
the cheek?
arse.
Straight
Just
in
this
the
section with the hole.
Yeah, or central, yeah, you know.
Hole Central.
Yeah.
Now arriving at Hole
You're
Central.
gonna have a blood enema.
Middle of cheek.
Blenheim.
Yeah. I think the founder of Skeleton would take the chalice away, not fill it back up anymore, but he kind of gestures in the direction of this portal.
Will you answer any more questions? This lich, is this your first child, and are we bequeathed to kill them?
I think with his extended hand, he kind of moves in your sort of direction. Just
I'm guessing the connect. Oh no,
Take that as a yes.
Yeah, it's gone. Yeah.
Kill them all.
Together.
Keep the hat. I'm keeping yours.
Here, put it back.
Nope. Walks through it wearing the crown.
Does it like bounce back?
okay. Yeah, you make your way through this portal.
Do need a wardrobe change. It has been 8 episodes.
Yeah, it's about time. I need to polish my crown. Get new spray paint.
Marcus got a sword. I just want a hat.
So you go through this portal and you end up in this sort of like this empty space of void, and you feel like you're traveling somewhere. Although your hair's not being moved backwards, you're not rushing through air, but you just got this sense of feeling that you're being transported somewhere. Now, I won't describe what you come into until next episode.
Oh, boo!
Oh.
However, there is one thing that everyone needs to do here. Unfortunately, Alex is not here for a bit, but he can make his decision next time. That's fine. So there were conditions. You saved Illyria from being poisoned. That is good. You chose to drink blood from the chalice. This is another condition. You dealt with the lich.
Dealt with the lich.
Did we?
Well,
we did something.
We knocked a painting on the wall.
well, there were quite a few times where I tried to hint towards what you could do.
Yeah.
And it's all to do with the
game.
word turn.
Turn.
And I think the first thing that the lich said was, if we get it up here, what a turn my existence has taken.
It's the little things.
It is.
And you look back on it, and you're like, that painting fell in its front,
Yeah.
and it craved darkness.
Oh yeah.
It was kind of getting you to try and help it move along.
It could have been a bit more cheery about it.
It's a fucking lich, I mean. What? So,
You've never met a true lich?
that means you'll get a bit of a reward,
Oh, presents.
but it might come with a bit of a downside.
Oh no.
You're all now technically vampires. If you weren't already, you are obviously a vampire. You're still a vampire, but everyone gets a little bit of a bonus. So you're not. You don't have like a
robot vampire. Duh. Space vampire.
So for you, it's not so much of like drinking blood from someone or something like that, but like the oil change, perhaps. You have a bit more of a hunger tied to it.
Okay.
You're going to go around murdering innocents to try and welcome to the club, marionette.
Does it just mean that I kind of need a little bit more? My oil change is a little bit more necessary.
Yes.
Cool.
But
thirst.
everyone here can now drink blood. If you couldn't already, you can now drink blood. You just be putting blood within you.
Yeah.
But if you did, and if anyone did here, you get an extra D4 hit points after drinking a vial of blood.
Nice.
Or, in Marionette's case, emptying a vial of blood into them.
Injecting.
+1.
If you couldn't already bite, you can now bite.
Ooh, I like it.
So even for you, Marionette, you still have the ability to. You have a mouth, but the blood will go somewhere.
Right.
You feel like that will still work for you.
I really like this setting. I really feel they didn't think the automaton thing through.
What if it's like you go near it and it like pulls it out of their pores and it just like soaks into you?
Mm.
Yeah.
something
You
more.
can
We'll have a chat about how to maybe flavour.
So you can flavour it however you want.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Whether that's just
Siphon
putting a
comes out.
fucking tube in their neck. And
Thank you. Up the nose.
I like that. Just like.
Is the 1d4 just regenerating hit points, or is that temporary hit points?
No, it's straight up giving you hit points.
Is that just on top of blood vials, or is that on top of drinking and shit?
Blood vials. So if you're drinking, the bite thing would do, I think it's 1 piercing damage plus a d4 necrotic.
No, it's quite good actually. It's ridiculous. Features. So bite is you obviously deal 1d6 plus strength of modifier plus 2d6 necrotic damage. The target's hit points are reduced by an amount equal to the necrotic damage taken, and you regain hit points equal to that amount. So 2d6. So it's up to 12. And it's like same as like you can down 12 points of hit.
Oh wow, that's really good.
Yeah, we'll share that with everyone else. I don't think this is quite...
Is it on
This
the...
bit is
The vamp shit is really good. Yeah.
This bit here says it's quite a lot weaker than that. So
really?
I'm a bit like, no, yeah, I know I've seen that
is
bit.
this like...
No, that might be a special thing.
I
To
don't know
ignore this.
So I'm happy to just make it just clean across the board.
Yeah.
Like the same as what Fear and Marcus have.
Okay.
That's fine with me.
No, that's our thing.
But you all have one choice to make each. And there was a fair selection of things here, so I'm going to go through them, okay? The first choice is what's called Bat's Eyes. Basically, you'll be gifted a bone chalice filled with blood and 2 humanoid eyes floating in it. You gain dark vision out to a range of 60 foot if you don't already have it. If you already have dark vision, its range is doubled.
Ooh.
However, while in sunlight, you have disadvantage on attack rolls, as well as perception checks that rely on sight. The next thing is Bloodless Veins. A golden chalice filled with a cold, dark blue liquid. You have resistance to cold damage. However, you become pale and cold to the touch. You have disadvantage on charisma checks against creatures other than vampires. The next thing is the Gaze of the Vampire. A ruby chalice filled with a pitch black liquid, and when you look into it, you see a frightening reflection of yourself. Upon choosing this reward, the whites of your eyes turn pitch black. You gain an ability to hypnotize other creatures, momentarily tearing them from reality. As an action, you choose a creature within 30 foot and look into its eyes. If the target can see your eyes, it must succeed on an intelligence saving throw, or its mind is momentarily detached from reality, becoming unaware of its surroundings until the start of its next turn, or until subjected to damage. For the duration, the target is incapacitated, and you can't perceive your surroundings by any means. So you can do that to a target. They're just like, they can't.
It's almost like they're charmed for one round.
No, is there a disadvantage to us if we choose that one,
No.
or is... Oh. Okay.
There's no disadvantage to this one. Some of them do, some of them don't. You haven't really come across anything yet. Although I think it's actually for everything, isn't it?
Any more for any more?
Yeah, so Restless One, an onyx chalice filled with grave dirt. Upon choosing this reward, you feel cold to the touch, like a corpse, and the time required to finish a short or long rest is halved for you. Next one is Savage Nature. A silver chalice filled with raw meat. Upon choosing this reward, the beast deep within you awakens. You grow claws and fangs, which cannot be retracted, but can be hidden with a successful DC 20 dexterity check with a disguise kit. The disguise is broken if you use your claws or fangs to attack. The bite attack, which you have gained, deals an extra 1d4 piercing damage. You can also make a claw attack, which is an unarmed strike essentially, but with a d6. So you come a bit more bestial. The next 3 are kind of based on what you received from the warehouse. You didn't get his armor, so that's going to be null and void. But you did get his weapon. So this reward is only attainable if the creatures have managed. If the characters have managed to secure the founder's weapon in the warehouse, which you did. So this is a choice that you can make and receive. You have +1 bonus to attack rolls and damage rolls made with weapons, and gain 1 blood degeneration. Now I will explain what degeneration is. This is the disadvantage I was talking about. It's a bit of a bad one. Okay, so it's kind of a bit of a ticking time bomb. Now, I will say, everyone here is getting 1 blood degeneration regardless, due to this vision that you've all had. Every long rest that you make gives you 1 blood degeneration. And this will compound over time. Not compound, because that means you gain blood 1 every time.
It'll stack.
Yeah. If this amount ever reaches the amount of hit points you have, something will happen. So
Is it like max hit points or current?
your max.
Okay.
So it's something to mark down because it's very important that I know what happens and when it happens. So that's if you choose the weapon, the founder's weapon, you are essentially making yourself better with your own weapons. You're not getting his weapon; you're just getting yourself better. The next is the founder's spellbook, which will also give you a degeneration, but your spell DC will increase by 1. It's a little bit of a boon. You never know. The other 2 I think are a little bit kind of niche, but you might like it. You never know. The first one is the Truth of Sanguinia. This is a tiny cohort Sanguinia, if you remember what those are, which is the elite guard, essentially. It's a little figurine that looks like it was battered in combat. Upon choosing this reward, the figurine appears in your inventory. You can ask a question to the figurine by offering a drop of your own blood, and learn the answer as in the augury spell. Once the figurine answers a question, it can only do so again the next night and midnight. The next one is a vampire's familiar. This is a tiny bat figurine. Upon choosing the reward, the figurine appears in your inventory, and you can cast the Find Familiar spell, and it will be a bat if you choose to do it.
Wow.
We're all gonna get a bat.
You can all choose the same reward if you so wish. Alex
Thematically,
will choose whatever
it
he
means
wants to
that
choose.
Thea can see through the item and hunt further. So the idea that he can scout and hunt more silently than he already does,
So,
he will take the
sorry,
familiar.
which one was that? Sorry,
He will take the familiar.
familiar. Okay.
A rogue with a familiar fly.
What about you? You two over there.
I think
Where you what?
everything about this is horrendous to Mariette. I think it's going to have to be the little cohort sanguinia for the ovary.
Yeah, you can add a cohort sanguinia figurine. Good luck spelling it, because fucking hell.
She's
As long as you know how to say
literacy
it.
girl.
Literacy girl, yeah.
Come on, maths boy. Sake.
I don't know. I'm just a maths boy.
I'm just a weirdo maths boy.
You're your mouse boy.
There's nothing outside of maths, all right? That's all I know. And yourself, Kitty.
Spot where we are on the spectrum.
Which is the one with the not the charm but the hypnotize? What was that?
Yeah,
one
that
again? Sorry?
is
That was a
the
long
gaze
time
of the
ago.
vampire.
Could you read it again for me? Sorry, just or what you can say. I think I might go for that one anyway.
Oh, in terms of how the hypnotize works?
But there was so it was just I hypnotized someone and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, as an action, you choose a creature within 30 foot and you look into their eyes. As long as they can see your eyes, it takes effect. But they have to make an intelligence saving throw, which is 8 plus your proficiency plus your charisma.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'll take that. So gaze of the what? Sorry.
Gaze of the vampire.
Gaze of the vampire.
And it's the bat statue, yeah?
Yes, bat statue, cohort sanguinia figurine, and you, Kitty, technically have a ruby chalice filled with a pitch black liquid.
And 1 point of blood degeneration.
And 1 point of blood degeneration each. And obviously, Marcus will choose his reward.
He wants the +1 to all attacks.
He might well do that, you never know.
It's Alex, he will.
Yeah, because I would have taken a spell book, but I just feel like that's less of it. Like just one.
Yeah, one DC.
Yeah, like I feel like I'm gonna increase.
Extra generation is like.
Whereas this is cool.
If it was like +1 to spell attacks as well, that's pretty
And
good.
what happens when we max out our blood degeneration points?
Something happens.
You don't know. You don't know what happens.
A mysterious.
So does it every time we rest we get a degeneration?
Yeah.
Do we have to do any ways to lower those?
Every single
There was a
one.
long rest. There was
Dying.
yeah, so just a long.
Yes, I will double check that, and I will retcon next time if I have to. But I know it's at least a long rest. I don't know if it's every short rest as well, which I very much doubt it.
We can never sleep again.
Never ever again.
Bring
So
us
yeah,
on.
definitely a ticking time bomb on that one. But that's it.
Cheers, Jack.
You're welcome.
I like the
For
visions
that
and stuff.
fucking shitstorm, whatever that was. But yeah, hopefully you got a little bit sort of information out of that.
Mystery and intrigue.
Yeah, certainly a lot of that. Hopefully some of your theories or something have come to light or changed. You know?
Well, I think we've now got Founder's Blood in us, no matter what.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think we can access the tomb and shit.
Yes.
But I also think, you know, in this moment, like the final thing is Fear still wearing the crown.
Fair enough.
Is he?
You don't know. It's not on you.
Okay.
You have your hat back.
Damn it! It's a lovely hat.
Yeah,
he's not too displeased
Yeah.
with that. It's a
Yeah.
good hat.
So, thank you everyone for joining. I think it was a fucking good session. That one. I think it was
We had a good laugh.
very RP heavy, and I know there was a lot of stuff going on.
I like it,
I was
the
trying to
RP.
keep up with it.
It's a good
Christ,
one. I like it,
there's a lot.
I'm in a fountain.
Fucking fountain.
Catch me the fountain. Can't do the fountain.
We will be back for Bloodpunk in about 2 weeks' time.
2 weeks.
In exactly 2 weeks' time. In fact, that's how time works.
That is indeed.
It's a linear concept
It is.
of numbers.
But next time you could see us is probably Monday.
Yeah.
Right?
It is indeed for a little
Starfinder, you know,
in some
that.
heavy combat.
Oh shit, yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
Christ! Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, I've
we're
forgotten that.
Yeah.
Oh.
2 rounds into
I've got some decisions to make there.
You stupid
Yeah.
friends, Kaz.
some conversations to have and some.
Thank you, Kiki.
Some recruitment
Yeah.
to happen
quite.
with that one guy
Well,
who
if
was
it happens,
imprinted
that
on.
is. So yeah, thank you to Warrior Prince 3D. Thank you for sponsoring the show, and keep doing so because it's fucking awesome. We will see you all next time.
Bye, Felicia.
See you all later.